Who the heck is Pep Talks?
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks.
Who the heck is Pep Talk?
They want our women. They want our children.
Pep Talk.
Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the
Pep Talk.
Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist.
Pep Talk.
I'm literally coming. I'm
Pep
literally coming.
Pep Talks.
We found weapons of mass
Pep Talk.
destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Friday edition of High on Politics. I'm your host, Pep. Nice to see y'all. How you guys doing? It's Friday, and you know what? It feels like Friday. Oh, man, it's actually, like, really, really nice out. Everybody is outside walking. Like, Chicago was hustling and bustling today. Little bit of an announcement. Tonight is the subathon, or I think it's called a subathon, right? We're doing a long stream over on this space. We're going to be playing some games and just kind of hanging out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be heading over there around 8 o'clock. So when we wrap up here, we'll just be kind of heading on over there and yeah, be a chill time, play some games. I think we're playing Jeopardy. Jeopardy. A legally defined version of it. So, how you doing, Etch? Welcome to the Friday show. Yep, subathon. It is a subathon. Okay, cool. Here, let me, I gotta change this title. I started the show pretty quick. I was just like, I need to put something on the title card, so, all right, let's see. Alex, there we go. ROGAN. Okay. Then I got, let's see. How is this? Oh yeah. Nice shoots. Have you seen any Jasons today? I have not seen any Jasons. No, but tomorrow, actually, you know what's really weird? Like, I kind of wish that there was, like, protests today, because I found out, funny enough, through Kat Abu Ghazaleh's page, that there is a protest in Crystal Lake, which, going to Crystal Lake on Friday the 13th, that'd be kind of cool. And then just, like, yeah, get to protest. So, yeah, tomorrow is actually likely going to be a protest day. That'll be interesting. Here. All right, sorry guys. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a weird start of stream. So I had to essentially restart my computer after I had everything set up. So yeah, it is not fun when that happens. So, but fuck it, we'll do it live. I know you guys are chill. We can chill. Oh man, but. You guys doing anything fun this weekend? See, that's how you know that it's like, uh-oh, he's losing it. I mean, you guys can answer, but I did not mean that. I was trying to signify that it's like, yeah, when somebody asks, like, yeah, so how's your week? What do you got the big plans this weekend? It's just like, oh, here we go. Small talk. Oh, how you guys, actually, I'm more interested in that one. How are you guys with small talk? Surprisingly, I'm not that great at it. I can handle it for about maybe 5 minutes tops, but then it's just like, no, man, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, I'd just rather not be here. Oh man, come on. Why is I am also trying to kill time because yeah, my computer also is saying that I'm still having some issues. All right. There we go. I can do small talk as long as I never have to see the person again. See, now, yeah, okay. That's actually kind of... Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so if, like, I'm at a grocery store that I don't, like, frequent, it's a lot easier. But, yeah, when... Dude, I hate the fact that... This is gonna come off kind of shitty, but I hate the fact that I recognize everybody at all these, like, local stores because, yeah, I have to put in that little extra effort every time. I don't get that benefit of just being like, oh, they'll never see me again. It's just, ugh. It's always the same, like, 4 people working, too, so. But, oh, as we, all right, so now I will officially start the show. So, again, welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. Hello. And, yeah, Let's get on. What? And now all of a sudden my cat is just like, you know what? You're starting the show. I'm going to be a terror. Dude. What the heck? Here, can you guys see him? Let's see. Where is he? He's trying to get in that box right there. He's been a little pisser today, so. But like I was saying, yeah, I can do small talk in little bits. But all right, and here is my update. Cool, yeah. So I will be on this space 8 o'clock tonight. We're gonna be hanging out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do the movie night, but I'll at least be able to hang for some games and some, you know, just questions, having a good old time with the other creators over on this space. Hi, fight the good fight. Hey, none ya business. Ah, dude. That was like, when I was a little kid, that was one of my favorite ones that I learned. It's like, what's your name? None ya. Huh? None ya business. I thought that was hilarious. So, what's the topic? What is the topic right now? Sorry, I'm usually a lot more on my stuff because, I get to do show prep. Today, the show prep was essentially 0 because everything I did have prepped got disappeared by my computer. So, kind of winging it right now. But yeah, the topic is another ice shooting just happened. Actually, you know what? Here, let's go to this real quick. And also, let's check in with here. I keep this up too. So, does anybody know if this is actually launching or are they just doing like a few checks and they have a live camera on it? Because if you guys don't know what this is the Artemis 2 mission, or the Artemis 2 rocket. Wait, continuous views of the Artemis 2 moon rocket beginning on the 17th. Test flight was supposed to be on the 3rd. Wet dress rehearsal. Okay, so when's the actual launch for this? They've had a camera on it for a while. That's what I thought. It popped up in my feed. I was just like, ooh, is there a launch today? That'd be sick. I have actually been lucky enough to see a space shuttle launch before they decommission those at ye old Cape Canaveral. So maybe if you stopped fucking with ice, incidents would stop. It has nothing to do with that, by the way. Here. Feds investigating whether 2 ICE officers lied about shooting a Venezuelan man in Minneapolis. Here, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go with this.
Even if you can't get an attempted murder charge, well, certainly this is an open and shut case on assault on an officer, right? These charges should be able to be brought.
The launch is in March? Oh, okay, cool.
Proved in a court of law. Then. Except no, the Trump administration lied.
Actually, that would be a good one for, like, my bathroom breaks.
Again, about a shooting in Minneapolis. This makes them...
God, could you imagine, like, the launch is there.
3 for 3 on Minneapolis shootings.
Got 'em.
And lies that they have been telling.
Like, could you imagine if something happens?
About
like, while we're just watching
these charges...
the stationary fucking thing where it's just like...
are now going to be dismissed.
That would be
help build
crazy.
the only independent news outlet, always on the ground with
All
the
right, we
people
get it.
for as low as 16 cents a day.
Corporate media, they've been lying to us for years, and you're going straight to the people.
Flint, Michigan.
Brooklyn, New York.
Government sending one more you to the residents of Chicago.
We need as many independent voices as possible, and that's why what you guys do is so important.
Covering what the corporate media
Sick of your
covers
shit.
up.
Hey, it's JT Siskowski with Status Coup.
I've said
Remember
this, guys.
back-
Work harder on your insults. Like, that one is the most boring one. Holy hairline. We fucking get it, man.
back in January
Like,
when the
we
Department of
fucking
Homeland
get it. Whoa. Whoa. This dude, he has a hairline. Whoa.
Security shot somebody in the leg in
Little old hat at this point.
Minneapolis and said that their agents were assaulted with a shovel and a broom. Yeah, well, it turns out that that is all complete bullshit because Trump's
Good luck, sweetie. I hope your wife recovers. I don't do video games. Bye-bye. I'm not playing video games.
Department of Justice
I'm covering news.
is now dismissing the charges against the men involved in that case. Let's get into it. This is the motion that was actually filed in federal court against the two men who were charged by the Trump administration in connection to this case, Alfredo Alejandro Ayorna and Julio Cesar Sosa Celis. And in moving to dismiss the charges, what they say is that newly discovered evidence in this matter is materially inconsistent, meaning that the evidence that they now have in this case does not back up the government's own story. The government's own evidence doesn't back up the story and the charges that it was trying to bring. So this newly
Did I debate against Andrew Wilson? Yeah.
discovered evidence in this matter is materially inconsistent with the allegations
Yes, I did. I can only imagine what you thought about it.
in the complaint affidavit filed on January 16th, as well as the preliminary
That was actually, I'm going to give myself the credit on that one. I honored a booking when I should have been laying in bed and doing absolutely nothing. But because I took that booking like a few weeks before that, I was just like, I can't. I was so new at this too, where I was just like,
hearing testimony
that sucked.
that was based on information presented
That was legitimately one of those times where you're just like, oh man, I want to just go to bed and like die.
to the affidavit.
I was sick as a dog. Yeah.
Accordingly,
Dude, I literally hit end and I have like a little trash can here. I had to end up using it.
dismissal
Where I was
with
just,
prejudice
"Bleh."
will serve the interests of justice, meaning that these
That was
charges
not fun.
need to be dismissed. And let's not forget what the Trump administration's own story in this case was. What they claimed was that their agents were trying to arrest a man. They were chasing him down when two other men came out of a nearby building armed with a shovel and a broom and used them to beat on the agents. And then during that beating, an agent fired his gun
Ice lied? No.
defensively and hit
No
a man
way.
in the leg. And the mainstream media, the corporate press, especially the conservative corporate press, ran with the Trump administration's narrative here. This is what Fox News had to say about
Rough man, give you props. Thanks.
the
Appreciate that.
incident that day. It was
You're actually one of the few ones to do so.
January
Everybody was just so quick to jump on. He wrecked you. It's like, dude,
14th. They framed it as attempted murder. An ICE officer
if you only knew how much it was just like, can we start this and end this as quickly as possible so I can get the fuck off this?
is fighting for his
Like I did my commitment. I hope that I hope this was a good look in some way where it's like, hey, at least he showed up.
life after he was allegedly ambushed with a shovel and a broom handle by 3 illegal
You know do you understand how hard it is to care about like debate topics, specifically when your body is telling you like, hey man, you really need to go to bed?
immigrants during a traffic stop that quickly spiraled into a foot chase, a violent
was
struggle,
rough.
and gunfire. Quote, what we
You just reminded me of where my headspace was
saw
there.
last night in
It's like,
Minneapolis was an attempted murder of federal law enforcement. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said, attempted murder is a big charge to level, and one that you would think should have some pretty obvious evidence that it happened, right? That you should be able to charge and get a conviction for somebody on attempted murder, especially something that happened in public the way that this incident did. It happened outside in the broad daylight. There should be cameras, there should be body camera, there should be the accounts of multiple agents and multiple eyewitnesses to back up what you're saying if this happened in the way that the federal government said that it would. And even if you can't get an attempted murder charge, well, certainly this is an open and shut case on assault on an officer, right? These charges should be able to be brought and then proved in a court of law, except no, the Trump administration lied again about a shooting in Minneapolis. This makes them 3 for 3 on Minneapolis shootings and lies that they have been telling about those shootings, because these charges are now going to be dismissed because they cannot prove their own story, because their own story was bullshit. They lied about Renee Good, they lied about Alex Preddy, and now they have lied in the case of this shooting as well. But the pain and suffering that was visited on that community of North Minneapolis where this shooting happened did not end with that shooting, because the Department of Homeland Security agents were there on the scene for several hours after the shooting, and they continued to brutalize that entire neighborhood and the people who came out to protest the fact that Department of Homeland Security agents are shooting and in some cases killing their friends and neighbors. And they brutalized that community for hours with tear gas and flashbang grenades. We know because we were there on the ground and we heard from the people themselves about how they felt like their city has been turned into a game of Call of
Status quo has actually been used in some of these cases too, because they were on the scene doing such good coverage.
Tonight has been
this guy. I love this guy.
Crazy, man. I heard the news that 2 Latinos were shot by ICE in the leg. First, I heard they were killed. Everybody went crazy. Then I heard they got shot in the leg. And now, since I've been down here, man, it's just been tear gas and fucking flashbangs. And I keep telling people there's kids in these houses right now. Some of these kids got to go to school, wake up and go to school tomorrow. And it looks like Call of Duty outside. It's fucking crazy. This is the north side of Minneapolis. This is the heart of the city, man. There's a lot of poverty down here, man.
Oh, dude, they cut out the part where he mentioned something about like, oh, what do you think about them being in the suburbs? He's just like, oh no, you're in the hood.
But
He's like,
we're
this
trying
is the
to
hood, man.
regrow this community, but this shit is not helping at all.
Now, they have not been hitting, the wealthy suburbs and that sort of thing. Do you think there's a reason they're targeting these areas?
Most definitely, because they can get away with it down here. You know, they did George Floyd over South Minneapolis, and they think they can get away. But North Minneapolis is strong. We're not over South. We're not in St. Paul. This is North Minneapolis.
I mean, there is a note that the fact that Renee Good was shot just blocks away from where George Floyd was murdered.
Yeah. It's tragic.
All right, so Tom Homan's $50,000 fraud that came from our tax monies. What do you think about that one?
Tragic, man.
Like, Cliff, for real. Since you care so much about fraud, I want to know what you think about Tom Homan taking that $50,000 bribe.
Tragic. It's almost like
on tape.
We're in a fucking movie, man. That's what it feels like. I was there for the protest with George Floyd when Dante Wright got killed right after George Floyd, man. And it just feels like a revolving cycle, like we're in the fucking Matrix, man.
Since you care.
The mayor's,
right?
I'm not quite sure.
You care about fraud. So you think that Tom Homan should not only not be heading up ICE, but should be in jail, right?
If it's right now or but soon having a press conference about what happened tonight, yeah. Would you have any questions for him?
Get fucking ICE out of the city, man. That's it. Get him out.
Get him out. That's what we heard over and over again from the people there on the ground, even as they were being brutalized. And that brutality was on full display the night of the shooting. The most visceral clip that we gathered that night because we were...
It was payment? No, it wasn't. The Fed, dude, it was literally in a federal investigation, numbnuts.
On the
like, what are you talking about?
Ground their report.
You understand that he did that with an undercover federal agent. He was taking a fucking illegal bribe.
Reporting.
Again, do you care about fraud? Or do you have an excuse for every little person that you agree with, but then you can look at one discrepancy with someone you disagree with and just be like, we must get to the bottom of this.
Was that federal immigration agents in firing off all...
No. You don't get to change the subject on me, pal. I want to know why you support his fraud, but you want to go and hyperfixate on Minnesota's fraud. Do you even live in Minnesota?
All these flashbang grenades ended up injuring
Jesus,
our
dude.
own reporter.
If you care that much about fraud, how come you're not trying to get ICE, since they're now for, like the ultimate forensic accountants? Why are you not begging for ICE to come to your town?
Zach Roberts that night.
Huh. It was fraud. It was 10,000% fraud. I'm going to get the video for you just so you can see how much of a fraud it was. Just because you want to say it wasn't fraud and he was getting paid for a job well done. You're just a lying sack of shit.
I got hit in the head.
Might have to ban Cliff here, guys.
Really?
I was trying to actually have like a conversation with this guy, but he is a bad faith actor.
Bad.
Like most of them. Sometimes I get surprised, but yeah, you don't even go here, man. Shut up.
Out of the blue, the police are moving forward.
Well, then start reporting the fraud in your community. Yeah,
shooting, firing. I got hit in the head, man.
What up, Nate?
Been shooting off munitions again. Not quite sure what I was hit in the head by.
A flashbang.
It
turned out to be a flashbang.
Had my back stupidly to the federal officers. So I believe it was something that they threw or fired.
Did he receive the 50,000? Yes, he did.
All right, stay here. Let's. Let me see your head. Where's your head?
Sorry, we're just checking on my head. I don't believe I'm bleeding. I think it's that bad. That absolutely horrible. But thankfully, at least was wearing a hat. Let's back up way a little bit. The gas is coming our way. The gas is coming our way. And they're continuing firing off things.
Yeah, they kept going. Holy crap.
And I'm glad to say that Zach was well enough to continue reporting for us in the subsequent days after that. But you see the violence.
Dude, yeah, he got fucked up.
There on full display that the Trump administration was not afraid to use and has not been afraid to use in Minneapolis and in other cities across this country. Cities where we have been on the ground for months and months now. We're not afraid to put ourselves in the action to be able to show you what is actually going on. We don't keep our crews well back. We go into the action. We get
White House position.
To show you what is going on so that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt what the Trump administration is.
Sorry, guys. I have to move around a little bit because my chats are not working. White House position. The White House has denied the report, calling it an attempt to entrap a Trump ally, maintaining that there is no credible evidence of wrongdoing, i.e. bullshit.
Doing.
Yep. We have investigated ourselves and found that we are perfectly fine. We didn't do nothing wrong.
These communities right now, the way that your tax dollars are being used to
the most transparent administration and president of all time.
Brutalize.
Dude, the fact that they're trying to gaslight us constantly with that. Dude, Pam Bondi said that at least 6 times during that hearing.
And terrorize neighborhoods and people in this country. We do all of it because we know it is important work. And it's something, unfortunately, that not enough corporate and mainstream press is willing to do. If you want to support us, please go to statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5.
All right. Come here.
So when you run for president, are you going to impose a wealth tax or a billionaire's tax?
I don't think that I don't think that anyone, and that we don't have to wait for any one president.
Wait a minute. Is this really happening?
I mean, she didn't say no.
Is AOC actually running for president? Well, in this video, I will discuss why people are now speculating this based on a recent appearance that she...
Did he commit fraud? Yeah.
He made.
Yeah, that's fraud.
Get to some clips from this appearance. As
taking a bribe as a federal official is indeed fraud.
Well as what some people...
Just because it didn't somehow it wasn't an administrative thing where they use some of your tax monies, which most of the time it's not even your tax money going towards
people are saying that
the fee, I've been saying this, and I was asking that guy, is he from Minnesota? Why are you so upset? If you're from Minnesota, sure.
Know her best.
But if you're not, shut the fuck up. Focus on your own locality. God.
Behind the scenes. I'll get to that later. So in this video...
This is literally the biggest problem I have with America is their inability to mind their own fucking business.
I'm going to get to a few clips from the Munich...
Or to actually care about the stuff that truly affects them, but they can hyperfixate on the stuff that doesn't.
Security conference, which AOC is attending this weekend, offering a working class perspective, as NBC News writes, on U.S. foreign policy at the Munich summit. This is a an annual summit where world leaders, in this case, this time over 50 world leaders, are
yes, like the damn stream. Yeah, hit the like button and sub to the channel if you haven't already,
set to
guys.
attend this year's event. Representatives.
I don't live in Minneapolis, and I don't give a shit about the fucking fraud that's happening there. If there's fraud I care about, it's the fraud that's happening in Chicago, which, yeah, that's pretty much just a given.
From all over the world discussing issues, foreign policy.
Not as much anymore, surprisingly.
Being a big
like, we make jokes about not being able to trust our alderman, but like my alderman's actually pretty decent. So
focus of it. But you don't normally attend something like this unless you have some larger ambitions. And I'll get to why some people are saying that it may not just be an ambition in terms of running for Senate, which would be, I would think, an obvious, with Schumer's seat being up for grabs in a couple of years, but that it may actually be for president.
Years, still not soon enough.
She attended 2 panels, or is attending 2 panels. One is already online. The other, I don't think, has happened yet. But one on the rise of populism and the other about the future of U.S. foreign policy. So the one on rise of populism just ended. I will get to some clips.
Actually, Rowdy, in your locality, did you see that guy that got busted taking a whole bunch of money from Wauwatosa?
From that in...
Why aren't you guys calling for ICE to come to Wauwatosa, Wisconsin? What's up with that?
A second here.
You guys need some you need some fucking hardcore forensic accounting. Send ICE.
Because it's really worth acknowledging.
You guys get why I keep saying that and how ridiculous it is that they're sending ICE to investigate fraud? What?
How fantastic of a communicator AOC is. And this is somebody who has clearly also, I think she was always great, but has clearly improved over the years. You know, going from being a bartender to being a congressperson is quite a shift. And when you're in the media every single day, cameras in your face every single day, you're going to obviously improve your ability to communicate. And I think clearly she has. And her issues in terms of what she has cared about has always been there. You can see from the very beginning, before she was ever in Congress, when she was running, the issues that she fought for, issues like healthcare, a wealth tax, universal child care, which is something that we'll get to later on in this video as well. But her ability to communicate all of this and how it connects to everything else is fantastic. And that gets to this next clip, or this first clip, from this Rise of Populism panel.
My favorite part is watching all the right-wingers already freaking out.
The connections and relationships that is under discussed, particularly in the security space, is the fact that...
Just popped in to say, for a minute to say, have a good day. Thanks again. Go Pack.
I believe we're
Go Pack.
seeing an economy across the economy around the world, including in the United States.
Oh, I thought we were talking David Pakman.
That extreme levels of income inequality lead...
I don't like David Pakman, actually.
...to social instability.
Oh, hey, Rowdy. I had Culver's today. A Wisconsin staple.
And drives, in a sense, in authoritarianism, right-wing populism, and very dangerous domestic internal politics. And that is a direct outcome of not just income inequality, but the failure of democracies over decades to deliver. The failure to deliver higher wages, the failure to rein in corporations. You know, the point was just made about antitrust. In the United States, antitrust is such a foundational bedrock value, not just because the ascent of monopolies create the abuse of power in corporations and market power, but there is a level of market concentration and corporate consolidation where a massive company can get so big that its consolidated power can rival that of nation states. And democracies, we have elected leaders. And in massive corporations that then begin to consume the public sector, gobble up these spending, they start to call the shots. And we're starting to see this with some of the billionaire class throwing their weight around in domestic politics and in global politics as well. So it is of utmost urgent priority that we get our economic houses in order and deliver material gains for the working class, or else we will fall to a more isolated world governed by authoritarians that also do not deliver to working people.
I'm not sure there's any other lawmaker on a world stage like this that has put the issue better than that. How?
This is why when people brush her off as quickly as they do, that they're doing that to their own detriment.
We have gotten to authoritarianism. And I'm not just speaking about the US, I'm just speaking worldwide as well. People like
Every
Mark
time
Carney,
I come in here, this dude's inspired by AOC.
who are great orators,
What?
is still a neoliberal at the heart of it.
If you come here and every time I seem to be talking about AOC, then you have hella timing, man. I talk about AOC maybe 1% of my entire show.
He would never make this argument.
That's
But
kind of
this
crazy.
is exactly what the problem is. You have a situation where companies are becoming more powerful, or are more powerful in many cases, than entire countries. And they're setting what laws are based on their donations and their influence generally over lawmakers. Laws around wages, laws around cutting out their competition through things like non-compete clauses, taxes, how much they
Are
or
you okay?
how little they get to pay compared to
Need some help?
everybody else.
He just got the spot where he was just like, oh.
On and on, the influence that these companies have destroyed the lives of the vast majority of people, leading some countries like the US in a situation where people are just looking for anything different, anything weird.
I don't know much about politics, but AOC is pretty
Off the wall crazy.
You know,
so you get
that's one of the most respectful simps I've ever simping I've ever heard. I'll allow
Donald Trump, because he's different. Maybe he'll do something different. And it's only gotten worse because he's the most corrupt politician in the history of the world.
Also, welcome, Richard Davis. I appreciate you being here.
But as Mehdi Hassan put,
This is a good show for you because, yeah, I try to, give people just the basics that they need. You know, I admit my biases, but I also try to break the news in a non-biased way.
On Twitter here.
I'm not even a journalist. I'm just a commentator that has, a
It
little
amuses
bit
me
of
that
journalism training.
Mega think their attack line on AOC going forward can be she's just a bartender or she's dumb. When I can't think of
It's always that.
a single
Yeah.
mega congressman who
always
could
that.
speak like this for 2 minutes on this topic at an international forum like Munich. Not one. There really is. I mean, I was thinking about this today. Like
What up, Dragon Slayer? How you doing, man?
Attacks that Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know. She's changed a little bit now, but the attacks that like her and others like her, like Lauren Boebert, would try and lob at AOC, calling her stupid, doesn't know what she's talking about, she's crazy. None of them could ever make any kind of coherent argument like this about what the heart of the problem really is. And it's not even just that. Try to get Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries to discuss this problem, to actually discuss real concrete issues in a way that actually explains what the reality is. They will not. All they know are talking points. There are very few Democratic leaders, very few leaders generally, that are able to break down succinctly in 2 minutes, like she did here, what the problem is. So it's worth acknowledging that on that point of dealing with domestic issues and improving the lives of people, that AOC has just come out to say, when only the wealthy can afford peace of mind for their children, we've turned childhood into a privilege, not a promise. I'm proud to lead the Child Care for Every Community Act with Senator Warren to cap childcare costs and fight universal childcare. So you even have people now like James Carville, who historically is we're talking about a center-right individual, advisor to Bill Clinton, is now saying in the New York Times, when 70% of Americans say raising children is too expensive, we should not fear making universal child care a public good. James Carville, the conservative Democrat, is arguing for universal child care. David Plouffe, another center-right Democrat who managed Obama's 08 campaign and advised the 24 Kamala Harris campaign, how'd that work out? Recently said that universal child care should be in Democrats' 2028 platform. Yeah. Maybe these people are like, maybe they actually were dumb all along. You know, a lot of the arguments that people try and make for these Democratic strategists is that, no, they know they're wrong. They're just corrupt. They're just taken over by a corporation.
Well, to be fair, isn't it obvious, guys? Like, come on.
And
it's the same. Like, we went through this with Bernie, where it's just,
wealthy individuals.
It's so obvious that it's the corporate interest. It's the uniparty, if you will.
Billionaires and they don't
If you
actually
will.
believe in things like universal child care or Medicare for all. Well, considering they have moved, maybe they're just now finally realizing that they were wrong the entire time. Maybe they were actually this stupid because they've surrounded themselves with the wealthiest people on earth and didn't have the perspective of an actual person. So when you see people like this finally realizing what the right strategy is, and again, these people care about strategy. They don't care about, actual people. They care about winning. When they finally realize how to win, then maybe there's some hope. Here is another great clip from this panel.
I think one of the reasons why, not just myself, but many of our colleagues here, in fact, Democrats, many Democrats that are here as well, is because we want to tell a larger story that what is happening is indeed very grave. And we are in a new era, domestically and globally. There have been many leaders who've said we will go back. And I think we have to recognize that we are in a new day and in a new time. But that does not mean that the majority of Americans are ready to walk away from a rules-based order and that we're ready to walk away from our commitment to democracy. I think what we identify is that in a rules-based order, hypocrisy is vulnerability. And so I think what we are seeking is a return to a rules-based order that eliminates the hypocrisies around when too often in the West we look the other way for inconvenient populations to act out these paradoxes, whether it is, kidnapping a foreign head of state, whether it is threatening our allies to colonize Greenland, whether it is looking the other way in a genocide. Hypocrisies are vulnerabilities, and they threaten democracies globally. And so I think many of us are here to say we are here and we are ready for the next chapter, not to have the world turn to isolation, but to deepen our partnership on greater and increased commitment to integrity to our values.
I mean, I can't put it any better than that. Hypocrisies are vulnerabilities. So I'm going to get to a couple of bills that AOC recently sponsored that deals with foreign policy and those hypocrisies. But like an example, and she brought it up there in Israel, but how can people, let's put the US aside for a second. People view Canada around the world as people are a country that cares about human rights. But as Canadians, we know better. How can you possibly trust that your government in Canada cares about human?
So I don't know what's going on. What's the context here? She's in Munich. She has been kind of going around giving some pretty powerful speeches about what we can do to actually have some positive change. And because she's such a great communicator, it is gaining traction. So
human rights.
Who are you people? Who are you, Natalie?
They will
Natalie
turn a blind eye to Israel committing war crimes, committing a genocide. Yet they will come out and condemn.
How are you, Natalie? Welcome to the show.
Russia correctly.
Starman, good to see
when
you.
they commit war crimes. Like, you can put the statements side by side from Anita Anand, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Like, you can go look these up. When Russia commits a war crime, it's called out, it's named, Putin's named, Russia's named. When Israel does it, you're lucky if Israel gets mentioned. Let alone Netanyahu will never get mentioned in any statement condemning a war crime that they made. Like, it's changed a little bit. There have been, maybe one or two statements out discussing, mentioning Israel or maybe mentioning Netanyahu. But for example, Netanyahu just flew over Canada on a trip and was in Canadian airspace. He should have been arrested. They should not have allowed the plane to go through. They should have forced that plane to land and arrested him. He is facing an ICC arrest warrant. Are you not part of the UN? Do you not care about human rights, or do you? So you can't have these obvious double standards when an ally commits a war crime or violates international law versus when someone who isn't an ally does it. Like, your people will not trust your government if you continue on like this with these obvious hypocrisies blatant in our faces. So this gets to AOC and the couple of bills that she has recently sponsored. So AOC says Cuba blockade part of new era of depravity ushered by Gaza genocide. So
do we support or no? I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to support. I don't know your politics, but I'll just say that I support AOC. You guys can listen to the substance of what she has to say and then make your own mind up. I try to say, don't let your preconceived notions of whatever Fox News or whatever MAGA's told you to fucking freak out about make it so you don't even listen to them, because again, that's controlling you and what you are willing to what you're willing to listen to. Like, now, if you do decide I don't like what she has to say and you like do it based on the substance of the matter, fine. But these assholes that literally see her and are like, can't listen. That's the game. And they got you good, man. You want to talk about like just squashing critical thought? Oh man.
A bit on that.
I keep hammering this point home, but for real, when he said that he was, the smart people, they don't like me. Like, he was telling you exactly what the game was.
What has transpired is that now it's kind of become acceptable that the entire Western world will look the other way as they starve and deprive people because they find political actors or political regimes in that country to be objectionable. So speaking of Cuba, which has been now under a...
people nervous to step out on that particular ledge. When enough people speak out, then all will speak out, like a mirror of acting Trump.
A blockade,
or a mirror of attacking Trump.
Or an increased blockade from Donald Trump. They recently ran out of jet fuel, even leading to Air Canada announced that they're canceling flights to the country because they're not sure the airlines would even be able to refuel after they land. So,
I mean, unfortunately, I listen to, my fair share of fucking Donald Trump and all of his sycophants.
Dealing with that.
I sat here and listened to the entire Pam Bondi hearing twice because I watched it before I brought it to the stream.
Lefty Winter shared this. As of this morning, AOC is
That's the kind of stuff that you don't see on the with the opposition. They don't actually pay attention to what anybody on the left is saying. They will go online, see that person is live or doing something, and then just immediately freak out.
Sponsoring two new bills. HR 7521 is
totally not triggered,
lifting the embargo on Cuba, and HR 7545 to prohibit funds made available for assistance to the government of Israel to be used to support certain violations of international law. And you could find those here.
I'm suing my former employer. If I win and get a decent check, I'm going to get really effing high.
As well at a Fast Democracy.
Good celebration.
See, looking at the co-sponsors, AOC's there, as well as the one on Cuba here. So it's nice to see somebody actually understand what the problem is. And I should say someone from the Democratic Party understand the obvious hypocrisies and be able to call them out. Now, on her potential of running for president, it appears people close to her or that work with her think this is a possibility. So a fellow female House Democrat who wants to name or remain anonymous says if she wanted a future in the Senate, she could have that future in the Senate, but I think she's looking at something much broader than that. Lawmaker said that Ocasio-Cortez's friends, allies, and advisors around her are asking the right questions and pushing her in the right direction where that is a possibility. So I'll get to the orange in a second here. But I do want to share this fun clip from that panel where she kind of sidesteps this question.
So when you run for president, are you going to impose a wealth tax or a billionaire's tax?
I don't think that I don't think that anyone, and that we don't have to wait for any one president to impose a wealth tax. I think that it needs
the ultimate flex, not being American right now,
to be done expeditiously.
And interestingly, when I wrote about wealth tax recently, and of course the big argument against this is always capital flight, the U.S. is actually uniquely placed to do it because you guys tax on the basis of citizenship, so people can't flee, and even if you change your citizenship, there's basically an exit tax because you have to pay a tax on unrealized capital gains. I learned this just recently.
Hey, good point there by the panel host at the end there, but not really an answer. Just kind of avoided the president part. But reading this in NBC News got me to actually maybe take this idea seriously, that maybe she actually is going to run for president. So a New York delegation colleague said they believe Ocasio-Cortez is leaning more towards a presidential bid than a run for Senate in 2028. That's when Chuck Schumer's seat is up for re-election. Because of Ocasio-Cortez's social media following of millions on platforms such as X, Instagram, TikTok,
you always been like
and
this?
Twitch, and her,
been like what?
Her status in the party is a fundraising.
Dude, you've been here for like 5 minutes, and I am taking in this information about what's happening. What the fuck is wrong with some of you people?
Powerhouse and top campaign surrogate for Democratic candidates.
Jesus
This lawmaker
Christ.
says she doesn't need to run for Senate as a stepping stone to the White House. Unlike President Barack Obama, she doesn't need to run for Senate to gain name recognition. To the fellow New York Democrat, who added that conversations among state and city officials are already picking up about who could succeed her in the House. Super locally, people are talking about who's running for her seat. This is a great point. You know, there's been a lot of talk about her. Oh, maybe she'll run for Senate because that's kind of the natural progression, usually, from a congressperson or a representative to becoming a senator. But you have a unique individual in AOC and a unique time where she has a social media following. People already know who she is. She's a lot more famous than many other Democratic senators. I said that she's probably as well
RN,
if not
what? Are you talking about RN Brown?
No,
like what?
Maybe not more well known than Bernie Sanders, but at least as well.
I mean, the leftist mafia. I was
known as
strangely enough. I'm part of this space, and we had our the head of this space and another creator on there yesterday, and they did a promo. So technically, I was also featured on this space yesterday, or on leftist mafia yesterday. So
and I would argue he's probably the most popular or most well known senator at this point, and there are many others that people don't know. There is no
Rational National.
Logistical reason.
Got it. Yeah. No, I know. I'm well aware.
Or even logical reason why AOC.
Yeah, Blue Dirt. I'm not even joking. They did a promo yesterday, and I was part of it.
Can't just run for president. Her name recognition is there. Her ability to fundraise is already there.
Her ability to make people really excited and not in the way that Kamala did, where it was all disingenuous.
Especially when people are dying for somebody who actually...
Literally, most of Kamala, the people that were really excited about Kamala was the prospect that it was just she's not Trump.
Cares?
With AOC, they are genuinely excited about what she can provide, her politics and what she can provide. And honestly, it's time. Why are we one of the only nations that hasn't had a woman in charge? It is kind of embarrassing.
I
thought about this. If the American experiment were to end with Trump, do you understand that we would have gone the entirety of our experiment without having a woman leader? Which, I don't know, the Egyptians figured that one out. The Romans even eventually got around to it. I do not understand how we are this adverse to having a woman in power, especially when we are a nation that loves our mothers.
History.
Allegedly.
Of fighting for people has a history of allies.
Does Kamala run again? She keeps teasing it, but God, I wish she wouldn't.
Like a Bernie Sanders, who helped to influence her in the first place. I look, it's a little early to get into the speculation game, but we're here. This is happening. I don't think it makes sense to ignore it either. And people need some hope. They need something to maybe look forward to right now for obvious reasons. And this would, I think, be a fantastic move. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos I have on this channel.
Right.
Miramar Martinez is a miracle because she lived. She survived 5 bullets to testify against the man who fired those bullets. She told a House committee last week, as a 30-year-old USA citizen with no criminal history, I believed that I had nothing to worry about. And then she was shot 5 times by Border Patrol agent Charles Exum in an attempt to kill her. Charles Exum then celebrated what is clearly, according to the evidence, an attempted murder. In text messages with his teammates, one of...
She's literally been part of Congress for what, the past 10... Well, how long has she been there? Fuck.
Whom told him...
8 years already?
He Was a legend because he
When did
shot
she
and
actually get into
almost
Congress?
killed an unarmed American citizen born in this country who committed no crime. Donald Trump's federal prosecutors were forced to drop any charges against Miramar Martinez.
2018?
Evidence they
What? So it has been 8 years. God damn.
collected proved that she committed no crime.
No. Anybody else just feel really old right
Patrol
there?
vehicle stopped just to 1 to 2 car lengths ahead of me. It seemed like time stopped. I knew from watching the news coverage of other Border Patrol encounters in Chicago that I was in danger. I watched the vehicle of Border Patrol agent killing Silverio Villegas Gonzalez just 3 weeks prior. I knew I had to get to safety before I was dragged from my car and likely beaten or killed. I drove forward and went around the Border Patrol agents, who jumped out of his car and pointed his gun at me. I moved to the far left lane, striking the curb on the far left side of Kedzie. The next thing I knew, I felt a burning sensation in my arms, legs, and that I had been shot by pepper balls, which I also seen these agents fire at people in our community. As I continued to drive past the Border Patrol agents, I could hear my back passenger window shatter, and I felt bullets continue to pierce my body. As I attempted to drive to a safe location, I began to feel lightheaded. I looked down and I noticed blood gushing out of my arms and legs, and I realized I'd been shot multiple times. As I became lightheaded, I became worried I would pass out and endanger other drivers on the road. I managed to drive a mile from where the incident happened.
Again, thank God she did, because honestly, they would have pulled her out and she probably would have died because they wouldn't get her medical attention.
And I pulled into a parking lot of a mechanic shop, and I called 911. I told the 911 operator that Border Patrol agents had just shot me and I needed help. I recall some of the workers from the shop sitting me down in a chair as I was waiting for help, but I was losing this battle. I saw my life flash before me and slowly began to think this was the end for me. And before losing consciousness, the next thing I remember is the EMT putting me on a stretcher, taking me to the hospital. At the hospital, I remember seeing multiple agents standing around, watching me be treated for my wounds. My arms, legs, and chest were all wrapped in bandages. I had 7 bullet holes in my body. I remember the agents rushing the nurses to finish up so they could take me with them. I still felt dizzy. I was not able to fully process what had happened to me. After being at the hospital for less than 3 hours, I was discharged from the hospital and took custody of the FBI.
Here's the newly released body cam video from inside the vehicle Charles Exum was driving that shows how crazed and trigger-happy and dangerous all of the gun-toting agents in that car were. Every minute they were loose.
She's a traitor to America. Well, she does, kind of trade in barbs and jabs and, all that kind of stuff.
Chicago, as
Learn how to spell traitor, dumbass.
you watch this video, the key point of
You're a shining example of our education system there, Mr. Mayhem.
is Charles Exum turning the steering wheel.
I am Mr. Mayhem. I do not spell anything correctly just to piss you off.
To the
Oh, actually, I think that actually might be the thing, because he also misspelled America.
left, which meant
She's a trotter to America.
he was turning his car to swerve into Miramar Martinez's car, which was on his left.
If you're real, god damn, that's entertaining. All right, this is wild, guys, by the way. I guess content warning?
All right, it's time to get aggressive and get the out, because they're trying to box us in.
We're going to make contact and we're boxed in.
We are boxed in.
Yeah, he swerved into her. It's 1,000%. He swerved into her. You saw it right there.
Be advised, we've been struck. We've been struck.
Blam, 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 blam. Get out! Blam, 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 blam.
Don't you f***ing move! Don't you f***ing move!
Oh, dude. Again, these are the moments that are going to ruin ICE, because every single time that we can prove that they lied, it is just another ding on their credibility. I mean, like they already had any. It's crazy how much they lied. They created a narrative and played it up for cameras. Yep. This seems to be like the consistent thing that ICE does. And then the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Joining us now is Christopher Parenti, attorney for Miramar Martinez. Attorney Parenti, those shots are fired pretty much the second
he gets out of the car.
He jumps out of that car.
Yep. Yeah, by our stopwatch, is a little less than 2 seconds, but he fires 5 times immediately.
And this is someone whose story was she tried to swerve her car into us and interfere with us.
Correct. And look, the government fought the release of this discovery for months because they knew once it was out there, the American people would see that the government was clearly lying to them. And, you know, the first lie was the swerving, right? I mean, DHS has consistently said that she rammed that vehicle. You can see in the video.
Yeah, they swerved into her.
That was released that he turns the wheel to the left right before impact, which would be consistent with him hitting her who was on his left. But the agent also was in the discovery that was released. He was interviewed by the FBI immediately thereafter, and he admitted that he veered to the left in order to, quote, create space. So the narrative never made sense, even according to their own evidence. And it wasn't just the fact of who hit whom. They had also claimed that they were boxed in, right? But we found a video from right where that incident happened that clearly showed there was nobody in front of them. And so these agents literally drew a picture for the FBI, and they put 3 cars in front of them to show that they were, quote, blocked in, and therefore they had to get out and shoot. But this video that we released as well as part of this shows that there was no cars in front of them, that they completely made up these 3 vehicles that they drew.
She wasn't protesting derpy, literally just driving.
In a report and turned over to the FBI. And so we would actually like to see them all prosecuted for lying.
Yeah, she wasn't even one of the ones following.
The FBI agent.
Like, that's the craziest part.
So what are the legal remedies now?
So, you know, the U.S. Attorney's Office, to their credit, after, you know, looking at everything and realizing that they've been lied to by the Border Patrol agents, they dismissed the indictment, which is, you know, as a criminal defense attorney, that's always my goal.
There you go.
And that's what we did for Miramar. So now the next step is, you know, they won't stop defaming her. They continue to call her a domestic terrorist. They continue to say, despite what you just saw and all the other evidence, that she rammed them and that she drove at them. So we are now suing them, suing the agency for the Federal Torts Claim Act.
Where was this? Chicago?
And we'll
off Kenzie Avenue.
Keep fighting, because Miramar, to your point earlier, she is a miracle. She is Renee Good. She is Mr. Preddy. She is Silverio Gonzalez. She just happened to survive the bullets that ICE fired at her.
What was it like for you as a criminal defense attorney who I know criminal defense lawyers...
What's up, Dixon?
Like to believe their clients. It's not always easy. But with a client like this, it would feel easy right away.
As you guys are filing in here, please hit the like button. Appreciate it.
This kindergarten teacher telling you this story. But what was it like for you as the evidence piled up, proving that everything she said was true and everything they were saying was a lie?
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence, I was a federal prosecutor for 14 years. I did 10 years in the Chicago office, 4 in Miami. So I knew how a case is supposed to be built, and you don't charge these cases without doing the due diligence up front. And so I met Miramar within seconds. I mean, she's a Montessori school teacher with
what up, Mitchell?
No criminal history, U.S. citizen, never been in trouble for even a parking ticket. I knew right away that there was something wrong here. And I've never had a case where literally every time I got new discovery from the government, it was completely in our favor. I mean, just showing that these agents were lying. And you know, I know these prosecutors. I pushed back on them and I said, guys, you need to look at this because you have it wrong. And to their credit, they eventually realized that and dismissed the indictment.
Attorney Christopher Parenti, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Gotta love it when they just can't, no matter what, they can't lie enough convincingly to actually like get people in the courts to go, yeah, you know what? That might have been what happened.
This is number one fumble. And so if they hired 5 advisors to go sit in a room with them, these are logical players. You're one of them. What counsel do you give to them?
Well, when I was driving here this morning, I know the White House watches
this is insane.
Your show. They watch mine, but not as much. But I've been told by the folks that they love your show, and I hope they listen. It's killing Trump. My family, people on the street, my callers, my listeners. I've got my finger on the pulse. I don't need a poll to tell people want a rebel that
you support AOC?
Goes after the evil.
She's better than everybody else we got in this Democratic Party.
State.
So yeah.
They certainly do. And while the president...
Easy on the eyes, good communicator. Yeah, you know what? It's almost like it's... We can hear this about Gavin Newsom, especially about, like, the wine moms. Fucking IHIP. He's easy on the eyes, but if I say that about her somehow, some way, that's objectification, right?
President Donald Trump purported to be one of the warriors who wanted to fight and dismantle the deep state. He's proven to do pretty much anything but. And so it's curious.
Yeah, I do.
Why Alex Jones continues to provide.
Yeah, she's consistent in her politics and her policies.
Provide cover.
How is she brain dead? What exactly has she not done? What exactly has she consistently failed on?
For the Trump administration, even as they bungled the release of the Epstein files prior to that, didn't want to release the Epstein files. And what's interesting to me, Cenk, is how Alex Jones speaks from both sides of his mouth, because fact of the matter is he built his entire career railing against the deep state, talking about how the government works against us, does these cover-ups. He wanted the Epstein files released.
Wait, so just because you're saying that they will never lock up anybody from the Epstein files, are you just accepting that and moving on then? Is that like your reason that you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. They're not going to do anything, so I might as well just not be outraged about it.
I mean, this is the type of stuff, again, he built his name on. And then when Trump comes into office and proves that he is the antithesis of the type of leadership Alex Jones wants, he provides cover. And that's what I want to present today. Before I do, Cenk, your 2 cents.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think he was providing cover for Trump. So I listened to it. Yeah, it seems like that. And he keeps attacking the Democrats, trying to make this seem like it's entirely a Democratic problem. But I actually think my read on it was that he was doing cover for Israel. And it was kind of stunning. And
yeah, this is almost kind of leading to that whole idea that he is actually paid by fucking Israel.
And part of the reason why I think that he attacked the Democrats so much and defended.
The more I see about Alex Jones not jumping on this shit, you know, Mr. Conspiracy Theory, it is sus as fuck. And then you look at like how it's like, oh, you are just kind of glazing Israel.
It's not just because he's a Republican, because he wants to divide the country again. Remember, guys, don't blame the guys who actually did this. Blame the Democrats. Get back into your partisanship. So look out for that.
On behalf of whom, though, Cenk? On behalf of whom? Who does he want to do that for? Like, what does he get out of dividing the country?
Alex, you like conspiracy theories, right? Mm-hmm. My new theory is that Alex works for Israel.
Good theory.
So I'll explain why.
That's a great theory.
A little bit later. And
it's almost like I've been saying this for a while
now. And also
in
this interview, he explains how Trump should lie to cover up this mess. It's amazing. So let's watch the videos and then I'll comment.
All right, so the audience knows what you're thinking. Let me tell you what I think. I don't think that he's working for Israel. I think that Alex got a little taste, little tasty taste of what access to the White House is like. And I don't think he wants to let that go. So with that in mind, let's start with the first.
Yeah, but is access to the White House really that important?
Clip, because this is where I felt like I heard the first red flag in his
MAGA morons against government accountability.
Commentary in this conversation with Patrick Bet-David. Take a look.
The Republican Party is the pedophile protection party when it's the Democrats that are 99% in the Epstein files, actually doing stuff to kids. Let's go after the people that are Democrats that are implicated by witnesses raping young girls at.
We have all read the same files there, my guy.
The island.
This is kind of a 50-50 thing, and it's not just Democrats. Like, dude, the way that he has poisoned that fucking well is not good because of the fact that this is like an international thing, but now he's just like, nope, it was only these people that I don't like. Yeah, it totally makes sense, right?
For a ranch at the New York facility and in Paris. Somehow the Democrats have turned this all the way around, and conservatives are demanding, yeah, Trump, you're covering it up, release it all. And that needs to be looked at, but we need to have the main focus be on the admitted stuff that's in all of this. Bill Gates, all of it, the Democrats, the leftists, all these top billionaires that have hated Trump. This is cut and dry, but somehow it's all been turned around against Trump, and a lot of that's because of the mishandling of Trump come out saying it's all a hoax. And then Roger Stone went and talked to him and said, no, sir, you mean the stuff about you being involved is a hoax? Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, I have to get this one thing out of the way. It seems tangential, but it's important because it gets on my skin. Okay, leftists are socialists. Okay, calling anyone who's on like to the left of you.
No, Anna. And here's my favorite part. You got to start walking back and just being like, oh, I guess I'm a leftist, since they're never going to change their fucking minds. Like the idea that you're sitting here just like, oh, I don't want to be lumped in with the leftists. You're getting it wrong because I'm not one of those. Meanwhile, she sat there glazing eye hip, just being like, yeah, you know what? I'm making a comeback.
So like a leftist is like the dumbest thing ever.
God, she really does deserve to be ostracized from us.
Okay, like just please understand what a leftist is. They'll call someone like Gavin Newsom a leftist. Gavin Newsom is a corporatist hack and a terrible governor, but he's not a leftist. Anyway, let me just put that.
I'm now okay. So with her saying that, is she mad that she's now not part of that group?
Aside. Okay, hold on. No, let me go.
Damn it, Anna.
Okay, go.
Okay, just real quick in that video, notice what he said there about Trump should say, oh, when I said it's a hoax and you shouldn't look at the whole thing, I meant my portion of it is a hoax. Now, Trump's never said that.
Minneapolis is the GOAT.
Alex Jones is coaching him how to lie about it
on
air, because he knows his people are watching Patrick Bet-David's show. So he's coming on there.
A leftist is different than a socialist.
Remember, Trump, you're supposed to lie this way. So
I would classify a socialist as a leftist.
I thought that was telling.
Providing cover. He's providing cover. Like that's his daddy. Okay, that's what he's doing. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So look, the whole idea of this being a partisan issue, anyone, literally anyone who tries to make this a partisan issue, dispense of them. I mean it, because they are super toxic and they have no interest in doing what is right for this country and right in terms of justice for the people who managed to survive that disgusting predator.
What was Tucker saying about this?
Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, because fact of the matter is, if you've looked at the files that have been released, and by the way, Channel 4 in the UK says that just 2%, they did an investigation, just 2% of the Epstein files have been released. Put that in your head and remember that as you hear more from this administration about how great they are in complying with the legislation that forces them to release the Epstein files. But like, there are Democrats and Republicans implicated in this. Okay, so I looked into Les Wexner, for instance, not a Democrat, apparently. He's a major donor to the Republicans and has been for many years.
Most of these guys have been donors to both.
Reports from 2022 and 2026 show that Wexner has continued to donate to Republican candidates and committees, such as the Republican Governors Association, while also donating to select Democratic candidates. Okay, I just named a Democratic donor, mega donor. Let me go ahead and be fair and balanced and mention someone who I saw as a hero, Noam Chomsky, was also implicated in the Epstein files, not necessarily in criminality, but he was giving Jeffrey Epstein advice as he was being accused of more sexual misconduct. Okay, you have someone who I idolized doing that. And so we just have to be honest about what's going on here. Okay, I have no commitment or devotion to any political figure or.
Yeah, fuck Noam Chomsky. You're out. Sorry. See, this is what she just kind of made this point, but for real, this is what us on the left have the ability to do, is not worship the motherfucker so much to the point where we're just like, nah, you know what? I'm going to fight I got to fight for him because it's not fair. I don't like the way that you're going after him.
Ideologue. What I want is the truth, and I want justice.
This will be fun.
And notice how we're not playing the game where it's just like, well, it wasn't litigated in a court of law. It's like, that doesn't matter. He's disgusting. And honestly, I think that that's enough for me to just be like, nah, fuck it. I can never read a Noam Chomsky piece again because I can't take it without thinking, well, he was also coming from a different point of view, brings a whole new meaning to his manufacturing consent book.
By the way, I should note that Les Wexner did eventually leave the Republican Party to become an independent because he wasn't happy with Trump, but he continued donating to
Democrats never distanced from Bill
Republican
Clinton.
candidates.
No, that's a fucking problem.
Then you have Leon Black. Was Leon Black a Democrat?
No, but this also goes back through a Trump administration as well. You remember, Epstein died under Trump, dude.
Well,
just remember that.
He did give money to Democrats and Republicans. My point is, this is not a partisan issue. If you're making it a partisan issue,
y'all not being loyal is not a flex. Yeah, it's a huge flex actually. We're not loyal to just to a blind fucking party. Like, we're not blindly partisan like that.
You don't give a...
No, that's actually called critical thinking. We get that you need your leader to think for you. We don't do that shit.
Damn about
some people do on the left. I'm not gonna sit here being like, oh, we're that much, like we're all perfect.
Justice related to this Epstein story.
Am I left or right? I'm left.
At all. You're just a political operative. You're a hack, and you're pathetic. Back to you, Cenk.
Yeah, you know who else gave money to Democrats? Trump. He gave money to Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer.
Thank you.
Earlier,
they were friends
in their careers.
Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were at Trump's wedding,
and to many other Democrats. So, is this a partisan issue? Absolutely not. In fact, if someone's trying to make it a partisan issue, they're hacks.
Right there. Democrats are 98% in the file. Where did they hear that? Infowars.com.
And I think that
because that's just blatantly not true.
You know,
okay,
they're not all working for Israel, but you should question that.
How would you know when they just redacted 6 of the people that have been listed, but they haven't redacted anybody else? That's kind of odd. Who are out of the 98% of those Democrats? You got a nice little list that you can type in here, because I haven't really heard of any prominent Democrats being listed outside of Bill Clinton.
So we're
so weird.
Top Democrats involved in some of these abuses? Very, 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 very likely.
And that's what I say. Very, 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 very likely.
Very likely.
But where's this evidence that you guys claim to have?
Okay. And do Democrats sell us out to Israel as well? Of course, nonstop. So do Republicans. And then you see these Israel first characters. They give to Democrats, they give to Republicans, they give to Democrats, Republicans. Why? Because, guys, they're not on the left or right. They're on Israel's side, period. Everything is geared towards help Israel, help Israel. Oh, we got these, the videotapes of all of these, eminently blackmailable.
Odd how they redacted some of the actual perpetrators and didn't redact the victims. There was one specific one that named 10 victims and blocked out the fucking perps.
Powerful and wealthy men now. We have the politicians, etc. So now,
it's fucking egregious. None of this is just oopsie poops.
Now, back to Alex Jones. So, yeah, and I hear what you're saying. It's possible that
which Dems cross the river Styx to get into Washington, huh?
He's kissing Trump's ass. He thinks Trump's
That's all he does.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
No, he does. No question, right? So that's not in question. The question is,
you don't think they were ever friends but benefited from one another? That's odd.
Why, right?
His diary says otherwise, and so does Trump's.
So your theory is he loves the access, he wants to get back into the White House. Perfectly great theory.
Dude, there's so much video evidence of him just being like, you know what, Jeffrey, great guy, but he likes him young.
As a good
Didn't seem to care when he said that.
Chance of being true, right?
No, you guys are just conveniently ignoring the fact that it's like, nah, I think Trump and him were best friends. I think Trump is totally trying to cover this up. And he's trying to blame Democrats. And yeah, it's the fact that he is so good at convincing you otherwise. It's a testament to how stupid you are.
Well,
it's not a testament to how good he is. It's a testament to how dumb you are.
The reason why I'm bringing Israel to Alex Jones in specific is because Alex Jones has all these conspiracy theories that he did for all these decades, right?
Tell me how all these people are paying over 35% in interest on every loan they've ever taken.
Apparently real ones mixed in with absolutely absurd ones.
That's the type of people that we're speaking to here.
So, like if you were a person or government that was running a conspiracy, what would you want? You would want a character like Alex Jones to confuse people and make conspiracies seem absurd.
Absolutely.
Ludicrous.
No Clintons and Donald were ever friends.
Don't believe
what?
Any conspiracy theories. Now we find out one of the largest conspiracy theories in history is correct. And all of a sudden, Alex Jones is like, I don't know, we gotta cover it up. It's just the Democrats, it's not Trump, it's not the two people. And you know what, in all these things, I mean, we had the lizard people, we have the aliens, we have the gay frogs, but somehow.
What now? Excuse me? Are you guys really that dumb? Like, I listen, I'm gonna be better about this. I'm gonna just call you stupid. Because yeah, if you think that this is fake and that this isn't proof that that the uniparty shit, you're on to something there. Because, yeah.
Somehow,
TDS is literally deluding yourself that Trump is not guilty.
You don't have Israel.
Also, Trump daddy syndrome. We get it, man.
Somehow,
trust me, we get it.
Shows just
you guys can't think for yourselves, therefore you need him to tell you everything to do, everything to think.
Just missed Israel being a possibility, even though Dropsite News has already shown that
exquisite. Heard that, Pat.
Everything Epstein did, he did to help Israel. And that's the one thing you couldn't figure out, Alex? Nah, I think Alex Jones is a false flag operation.
I'm not stupid and it's not
and
fake.
He's being, and by the way, he made all that money.
Okay.
People are like, how did he make that money from that rinky-dink show? Okay, yeah, it had some popularity for a while, but we know the numbers of what shows like that get. I could never understand how he had that much money, hundreds.
Well, that's why I keep trying to tell people that, like, say he's still like the outsider. He's here to save us from all the political corruption. Meanwhile,
millions of dollars.
Literally every decision he makes is steeped in political corruption.
My theory, and if you don't like my theory, Alex, you can kiss my ass, is that you're a bitch who's always worked for Israel. Every time you ring the bell below.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
Alex Jones was on the PBD podcast, and during their conversation, he gave us some insight into Pam Bondi's probably most embarrassing moment during her testimony before the House Judiciary Committee.
What up, Rebecca? Good to see you.
This was about
also Mitchell. What up?
About the Epstein files, the release of the Epstein files. She really didn't want to talk about the Epstein files, and this is what I'm talking about. Take a look.
Trump has been convinced that it will crash the economy if all these bankers and people, if this stuff comes out, and he thinks end justifies the means. It's too dangerous. I'm not defending this.
But
I'm telling you what Trump's been told. And that's why I said he's told it'll crash the stock market. Bondi yesterday, it'll crash the stock market.
The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
They know it's a giant
cheese grater 69
mess.
Thank you for the sub.
BS and crap. And then the women that are the victims and the survivors, almost all of them were, got into.
Had some cheese curds today, man. Oof, they were so fucking good.
And that's how it worked. And we're actually madams.
Fried cheese curds.
Out running these operations.
So
you're doing well.
In the tail end of that clip, as you just heard, he seems to be doing a little bit of victim blaming here. Seems like he's attacking the.
Yeah, I want to see the Clintons testify, but the thing is, I want to see the Clintons testify on TV. That's the reason that Trump doesn't want them to testify.
Survivors.
Like, dude, they literally called their bluff and said, all right, we're ready to testify tomorrow. Set it up.
And if you're thinking,
but they're just like, we're not going to do it behind closed doors. And they're just like, well, I just, no.
Nah, come on, Anna. He wouldn't do that. I
don't know. Why are they trying to hide things? Don't you, like, here's the actual question. Don't you want to see it too?
now turn to a
They'll just plead the
longer
fifth.
video.
I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell did, Donald Trump did, Jeffrey Epstein did. I thought that Donald Trump was the one that said, if you plead the fifth, then we can assume you're guilty. Huh. Odd how we can always use their own words against them. It's kind of like how Charlie Kirk said that, we need some sacrifices to the Second Amendment. Oops.
He does exactly that.
Wonder if he'd still believe that.
The women that they've, settled with and that are the victims and all this stuff, almost all of them are the women that ended.
Have I seen the UK's Navy lately? No, I have not.
Working.
I know jack shit about the UK's Navy or military operations for that matter.
For Epstein for years and years and years.
Recruiting other young girls to come to him for $200, $100.
Absolutely.
They'll get paid.
Absolutely. Some were bought at age, this is public, at age 9 or 10 from their Eastern European parents, flown here and then worked for him for decades. And so exactly, they're the ones that manage and run.
That's called grooming, Alex.
The women. And so
that's literally the concept of grooming.
When you see these women up there, you have to understand that in many cases, you're looking at people that for 5 years, 10 years worked for Epstein and were part of it. But see, that's how they stop it. Those women then tell a limited story about what was going on. But then you read the names of some of the women, they're in all the emails preparing the beef jerky. A couple of women.
Yes, this is how this works.
In there were actually girlfriends after they were adults and worked for Epstein for over a decade. And it turns out.
I like how you can latch onto the beef jerky part, but not onto the fact that these rich guys were part of it too.
Worked for George Soros.
Do you think Donald will ever face consequences? No.
So see, I'm not trying to demonize the women. I'm just saying it's what you're seeing is not what you're actually getting here.
So let me get this straight. The 8 and 10-year-olds who were purchased from their Eastern European parents and brought here to the United States to be exploited by Epstein and his co-conspirators. They're actually not survivors. They're not victims at all. They're madams. They're madams. They get raped until they're adults, and then they end up working for Epstein. And so as a result, they have no credibility. Like, what was that argument? What was that?
That was disgusting is what that was.
Was that?
Absolutely fucking disgusting.
And what are you trying to cover up for, Alex? What was that, Jank?
Disney would be closed down if that was the case. I don't know about that, man. Do you know how many people actually passed away just on rides just last year?
Yeah, so
like a lot, bro.
He does
at Universal Studios too.
Doesn't want anybody to listen to.
And the thing is, it's because a lot of these roller coasters and things, like they do not have proper procedures set up for anybody that has like, bad neck, back, or any of that. That's why you have to sign that waiver.
The victims.
That's why they don't get in trouble. Because realistically, if you're going to a theme park and you have a bad heart knowingly, it's like, you shouldn't be going and doing that. Like me, for instance, I have a concussion history, right? So I'm not really able to do anything that's like a lot of, whiplash. So roller coasters are pretty much done for me, unless it's one of those ones that's a little bit softer. But even those kind of,
He's trying to smear the victims.
But because I know that, you don't see me lining up to go on the newest roller coasters all the time.
Survivors, yeah.
Anna, it reminded me of Alan Dershowitz.
Totally.
Yeah, and
The Witch on Fox, that wasn't The Witch on Fox, that was Megyn Kelly. And yeah, that was Megyn Kelly after using her own daughters as an example.
That's why.
Saying she has a 15-year-old daughter, and then simultaneously within the same fucking sentence saying barely legal types.
Earlier in the program, I was talking about
like what the actual fuck is wrong. Like this is where I look at some Republicans and like right wingers and just think, holy shit, they are actually evil.
About his connections to
like there is a level of selfishness that does make you evil.
Israel, because
if you don't care about atrocities happening and like genuinely care, and if you have the ability to disingenuously use atrocities to further your own goals, that's also makes you a little bit evil.
He's doing the same exact Israel.
I watches TYT. I watch every network. I literally yesterday made sure I had one of each fucking network. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Strategy, attack.
Try to do news aggregation.
The victims, say they're the ones that are really at fault. Make it a partisanship issue so that you divide the country and that no one bothers to look.
All right, you close-minded asshole, we get it. You only watch things in your little bubble. Now, back to your bubble with you.
And in all of his conspiracy
what are you even doing here?
theories, he just couldn't find a way to...
Yes, TYT is the fucking worst. They suck.
Like... Actually,
they've lost a lot of credibility recently, but this is one of the only ones that's actually talking about the bullshit that Alex Jones said on PBD. And I'm not going to listen to all of PBD.
Care about the victims.
I also can't, because PBD is one of those ones that doesn't like to share their stuff.
And actually go after the predators. But the predators are scot-free. There's no investigation, and Alex Jones is
bubble boy retreat.
Doesn't seem animated by that. He doesn't seem to care much about that. But he does care a lot about attacking the victims. Maybe he's in the room with the
predators all of a sudden. Maybe he likes that, right? I mean, how many times is Trump mentioned in the files? How many people in the Trump administration are mentioned in the like? Maybe Alex Jones finds that access to the White House way more important. So why not
That's what she said last
throw
time,
cold water on the claims being made by the women now who were purchased as children from their Eastern European parents earlier? Like, what was that? That was so disgusting, okay? That disgusting hog. And by the way, one other thing that I should know, think about the context. Think about all the other things that we've discovered through the Epstein files in recent days. Namely things like the massive drums of sulfuric acid that Jeffrey Epstein purchased on the same day the FBI opened up an investigation into him. Gee, could it be that maybe there's a possibility, I don't know for sure, but there's a possibility that the sulfuric acid was purchased in order to destroy evidence? Because sulfuric acid will melt human bodies, including human bones. Maybe something we should look into. So when you're on a freaking island with all of these billionaire predators attacking you, and Epstein demands that you recruit other females, children, to be exploited, I don't know. There's a possibility that if you don't comply, you could get killed, number one. Let's go to that graphic, by the way. This is what I'm talking about when I refer to the...
How do I feel about the podcast people like Rogan's who are starting to change their tune? We'll get to that.
Of sulfuric.
I actually have another segment lined up for right after this.
Acid. If you look at the description, the purpose or description for the purchase, it says 6 55-gallon drums, sulfuric acid with fuel and insurance charge for transport. And, the claim is that it's being used for a reverse osmosis plant. And that could be true. But you know what I also think is fascinating? That we found out that homeboy had a freaking trap door to the ocean.
People are just like, he really liked to fish.
His estate. Gee, I wonder what he did with that. What was the purpose of that? But we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about the 8 and 10-year-olds who were purchased from their parents in Eastern Europe by Jeffrey Epstein and demonize them? We're going to demonize them. Okay, I see through you right away, Alex, right away. Disgusting.
Yeah, so Ryan Grimm found one of the emails.
Oh, so you guys aren't going to be, buttering up to him anytime soon. But Tucker Carlson.
Today, he put it up on X of an Epstein girlfriend sending Epstein an article about a young college woman who went missing. There's no explanation of it. She just sends it like they already know. Like, I don't know what happened to that girl. We don't know what happened to the baby of the 16-year-old who was raped by Leon Black, according to the documents.
According to her diary.
Yeah, and you buy the sulfuric acid on the day that you might have to bury evidence. If you think that's a coincidence, sorry, but you're a moron. Of course, that's not a coincidence. Obviously, it's to get rid of evidence. The question is, what evidence? So did we get any of the tapes? But I don't know why they bother getting rid of the evidence. Our government never investigates it. And so again, back to Alex Jones, all these conspiracy theories. And in that podcast with PBD, it's like, Skull and Bones and George H.W. Bush and these secret societies and the cult, blah, 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 blah. Or could it be, like the governments and the intelligence agencies that do conspiracies all the time?
Yeah.
So
it's not the sexy one though. It has to be a shadow cabal. not the cabal in front of you and the obvious perpetrators. No, it has to be secret ones. It has to be the ones that are,
Didn't occur to Alex Jones, hey, maybe it's the Saudis, maybe
it's my opposition, conveniently.
it's the Israelis, maybe it's the British, whatever. Nope, didn't occur to him. No, it must have been a secret society of the occult from the 1800s. But whatever you do, do not investigate the predators. Do not investigate Republicans. Do not investigate anything but the victims.
That's a different type of acid that you use for a pool, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
That's called cyanic acid.
Listen, if you're a woman in the United States of America, get a good hard look at our government and our law enforcement agencies and understand this is what we're dealing with. So if you're an adult female, go to a gun range, start training, know how to protect yourself. If you are a mother to
there's a reason that you don't melt in a pool.
Daughters.
You numb.
Okay.
This absolute idiot thought sulfuric acid and cyanic acid were the same.
Teach your daughters how to.
And he's just like, yeah, he's just buying lots of pool stuff.
Throat punch someone. Teach your daughter.
What the fuck, dude? This is insane. We've hit the point in the week where we've already got people that are trying to run interference for anything that's being reported in the Epstein files. Oh, yeah, totally not fucking bots. Totally. This is 100% organic engagement. This is it. Shut.
Like when you look at your total conspiracy catalog of things that you like to dive into outside of aliens, because everybody knows that. What are your other ones that you like?
Well, aliens is the most fun one.
Yeah.
This is the one that I hate the most.
Yeah.
Because this one scares the shit out of me.
Well, it should, dude. And the thing is, you're literally part of covering up for these people now. Like, dude, you're part of the Epstein class. Congratulations, Rogan.
Crazy. So this is
that's what's insane to me. And it didn't even take 5 fucking full years for him to do the full pivot.
Conspiracy that drives me the most crazy because I don't like it.
Do you spend a lot of time reading them?
Muriatic acid, actually.
No.
I thought you could use both.
Try not to. I try to have.
I thought it was you could use cyanic and also use muriatic.
Have experts come on. I try to read.
I don't recommend touching any of it.
You can't change it.
Sulfuric is the one that will, if you dip your finger in, goodbye finger.
Yeah.
And it'll fuck with your head.
All right, so it looks like the recent Epstein file release is really starting to break Joe Rogan. This man has been going through it. Same thing with Alex Jones.
Sterling Fletcher. I can't even read that, your comment, but good one.
He had a meltdown the other day and had to hold himself
Definitely hit that like and sub.
back from crying.
Feel like you're in
But his fans, on the other hand, are like, Alex is vindicated.
Here.
We knew it. He's right again. Because him and Rogan have been talking about the Epstein theories and pushing for the release for years. So now that we're starting to see it come out and how bad it is and all the high-profile people who are involved, you would think somebody like Alex Jones would be taking a victory lap like his fans are doing.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
But instead, him and Rogan are freaking out over it because I think it's starting to set in for the both of them that a lot of the people
I literally take care of a pool.
They associate with are complicit or were at least involved with Epstein or the cover-up. Also, it's almost impossible to defend the way Trump's administration has handled this after they were caught lying about and trying to protect co-conspirators. Even Rogan finally snapped and is like, yeah, this looks fucking terrible for Trump.
Do you understand that there's a few people out there that don't know who George Costanza is, so they think that this is it's pictures of the...
Because Jamie pulled up one of the emails.
Statistically, there's a few of these people that think that that's literally the content creator.
Where Epstein said to someone, I love the torture video, and that name was redacted. But then Thomas Massey got to see the unredacted version the other day and named the person. It was this businessman in the UAE, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem. He sent Epstein a torture video, and Trump's administration, I guess, felt like he needed to be protected.
Yeah, I need to make a correction. It wasn't bin Salman, it bin Salim.
Like he's a victim here.
Bin Salman's a totally different person.
So Epstein was saying that. Where
Chuck the DM, I appreciate that.
Are you okay?
Are you a dungeon master?
Love the torture video.
Jeez.
I am in China. I'll be in the U.S. second week of May.
Thank you for the sub. Appreciate
that.
What the
fuck, man? And why is his name redacted? Why would your name be redacted if you're not a victim? Like, this is what's crazy about all this. Like, how come you redact some people and you don't redact other people? Like, what is this? This is not good.
He would have had the answer for this back in 2018. Right there, he wouldn't be so, dumb about it. Just, I don't get it. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? It's so confusing. Why would they do that? In 2018, Joe Rogan would have been like, dude, how stupid do they think we are?
None of this is good.
Like, you're gonna like that's egregious, man.
This administration. It looks fucking terrible. It looks terrible. It looks terrible for
but you're still gonna fucking be like glazing this guy, seeing him at UFC events, fucking shaking his hand, all that bullshit. Come on, man. This is why nobody likes you anymore, Joe. This is why your audience has completely fallen off.
He was saying that none of this was real. This is all a hoax. This is not a hoax. Like, did you not know? Maybe
like for real, man.
If you want to be charitable,
I know so many people that just quit watching him because of this shit.
Not a hoax.
And funny enough, they got to Peter Thiel and finally went, yeah, that was a bridge too far. I was like, really?
And if you got redacted people's names and these people aren't victims, you're not protecting the victim. So what are you doing?
Right.
And how come all this shit is not released? Like
you would think that all of it would just, like, get rid of all of it. Just expel it all.
It's crazy. So this is the conspiracy that drives me the most crazy because I don't like it. The fear of these like literally demonic human beings that are running the world and don't give a fuck about human lives and enjoy watching people being tortured, enjoy watching people killed, participating in ritual sacrifice of people, and they do it in order to show that you're a part of a team and you're. We know that has always historically been a real thing, and it's been something that you look at in history. You go,
Pep, you're going to be in the This Space Marathon stream? Yeah, later.
It's so sick. It's so twisted. It's so disgusting. And everybody wants to think, thank God that's not happening now. But then when you realize, like, that might have been happening now.
And another co-conspirator that was named recently is Les Wexner, the former CEO of Victoria's Secret, who's a billionaire that gave Epstein his New York City mansion and power of attorney over his finances. So
yeah, I'll be heading over there for the games.
People knew he was involved. It's not a big surprise, but now we have more proof. Also, Trump's administration was trying to protect him too. His name was redacted. So Joe was talking about that and brought up Whitney Webb, who's probably the most well-versed reporter of all the Epstein stuff. She's done a ton of research.
Charles Genereux.
She's written books about it. And she
Thank you for the sub.
Pointed out Wexner's role in Epstein's operation in 2020. And that's why Joe brings her up. He also says he would have her on his podcast, which is kind of surprising because she's also very critical of Joe's tech friends and their involvement with Epstein. So I'm surprised Rogan's handlers would allow her to come on. But also at this point, I don't know if she'd even want to go on there because Rogan's so close with the Epstein class. She might think it would hurt her credibility.
By the way, Whitney Webb posted on her Twitter about Les Wexner being a trafficker, a child sex trafficker in
Bear Dog. Thank you for the 5, man. Appreciate that.
That crazy chick
at Bear
is
Dog
right
_beer down $5.
Your reminder that
Happy
Leslie
Friday,
Wexner
Beth,
financed the
pals,
mass
and hate watchers.
trafficking of
How we all
thousands of
doing?
American children for over a decade.
Appreciate that, man.
And
Thank you.
right now, he is sitting in a 26K square foot mansion in New Albany, Ohio, thinking that he is above the law. She tweeted this in April 28 of 2020. How crazy is that?
Holy shit.
She's like the most prolific of all the conspiracy theorists, the most
it's weird.
Well-read, the one with the most
Y'all were calling her a far lefty, saying that she was being an alarmist up until this point.
recall, the one that's the most quoted. I don't
Weird,
know
Joe.
how she's so good at it. We're trying to
Honestly, I hope he does invite her on because she would call him out on that too.
get her on. I don't know how she's so good and what her background is, how she finds all this information, but she's always way ahead of all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean 2020.
That's crazy.
That's fucking way ahead of everybody.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Bro. But these files, just what's come out so far, and the fact that they redacted men, these like powerful billionaire guys, their names were redacted.
And another thing Whitney was way ahead of is Elon Musk's connection to Epstein. But obviously Rogan does not want to hear about that. That's his buddy. But Whitney called this out almost 3 years ago, maybe even longer. She talked about it on PBD's podcast about 3 years ago. And she said Elon has a fake persona that he portrays to the public. And he isn't truthful about his ties to Epstein, which she was
That makes
100%
perfect
right
sense.
about. You know, Elon lied about this so much. It's crazy. Like, he originally claimed he was photobombed by Ghislaine Maxwell in that picture with her. He said he didn't think Epstein toured SpaceX. He said he denied every invitation to the island and barely knew him. but that was all bullshit. He communicated with him quite a bit. He tried to get to the island, but Epstein canceled on him. Also, he gave Epstein a tour of SpaceX, and his brother was set up with girls by Epstein. And Whitney was talking about this stuff 3 years ago, so she nailed it here. But of course, I doubt Rogan would let her talk about all this on his podcast.
I see Elon Musk as a person who has like a very specific persona he wants to project to the public, and then there's business Musk, right? And I don't think they're necessarily always the same person. For example, Elon Musk, a lot of people maybe forget, he's a big military contractor. And also, the Space Force, that's also an intelligence agency, so he's technically a military and intelligence contractor. A lot of his companies would not have been successful without significant subsidies from the government. So I feel like in order to get those deals, there's certain rules you have to abide by to an extent. So maybe he wants to project, this persona of like, I'm one of the bros, I'm one of the guys, I believe in free speech and all of this. And certainly when he bought Twitter, that's what he said, but then it became, oh yeah, free speech, but not freedom of reach. And, I personally, just from my own experience with Epstein research, I have found Musk not to be very upfront about some of those connections there. So for example, he'll be like, a lot of people like to bring up the picture of him and Ghislaine Maxwell from 2014. He'll say he was photobombed and all of this. Reporters seem to have forgotten that Kimball Musk, his brother, who's on the board of Tesla and SpaceX, was introduced to a member of Epstein's entourage who had dated Epstein and lived at the apartment where all these traffic.
It's gross. Like Elaine is trying to get bargaining for commutation. She has no remorse.
Girls lived.
Yeah.
A girl from there starts dating Kimball Musk, and somehow Epstein is allegedly granted access to SpaceX facilities and tours, and then is allegedly advising Tesla, according to the New York Times reporter James Stewart. This is during a time when Musk is saying he's trying to secure capital to take Tesla private, I believe. And this was allegedly involving one of the Saudi wealth funds of the Saudi government. And at that time, Epstein was a very, very close advisor to Mohammed bin Salman, who had recently come to power.
Yeah, and also the Crown Prince of Saudi
Arabia
was really close with Epstein. So I'm sure Bill Burr, Andrew Schultz, and all the comedians that took money from him will have a lot to say about that. No, I mean, they'll all talk about how evil all the billionaires are in the files, and then take money from a trillionaire that was really good friends with Epstein. So
what's up, Chris?
Speaking of that, Schultz has been railing against Elon for being in the files. Same thing with Brendan Schaub. He's surprised a lot of people, and he's actually had...
Notice Callan's face. Callan's not happy because allegedly Callan used to play private gigs for Epstein and is in the Epstein files with other comedians.
A good take on the files, but his co-host Brian Callan...
Which Callan has been known to have an issue with, liking him a little too young,
has had maybe the worst, and he's been getting a lot of backlash for it. Like, even Schaub has been giving him a ton of shit for it. So it's good to see some of Rogan's friends aren't afraid to talk about how bad this is, and the fact that Elon Musk was trying to get to Epstein's island. Because obviously so far, Rogan has been too scared to talk about it. I don't think he even wants to look at those messages. He's probably trying to convince himself it's not real and they're AI.
No, I swear that's what it is.
I'm sure that's what Elon will try to tell him.
You know what Elon Musk said? Have you seen those emails?
Yeah, he basically said if you
No.
He wanted to go to the party, the wild
exact
party.
words were, "Let me know the wildest party." And then his brother was actually in the parties, and the code name was supposed to be Pussy Chaos or something like that.
Yeah, I think he was like, "Hey, let's go to an
Kind of
orgy."
party.
Yeah. There are a lot of people in these emails that were clearly like, you got a bunch of Russian girls, and
I'm still watching The Fighter and the Kid.
Go on an island. That's a separate thing. Okay, that's a separate
slow
thing.
day today. Yeah,
you want to be a freak.
No, I'm all right with
get
it.
your freak on or whatever.
The fact that Elon's trying to go to the parties and the
wildest
and
ones.
Epstein's just like, hey man, we actually canceled the parties.
He sent that email on Christmas Day. This guy got like 11,000 kids, and on Christmas Day, he's wondering where's the crazy party at.
He is in like a unique situation because, yeah, he didn't go to the island, but he desperately tried to go to the wildest party. Like if Epstein was like, we just kind of have like a normal party today. He was like, well, when's the wildest one? Right?
Yeah.
And that means he must have heard that wild shit happens at the island.
Absolutely.
Because why even suggest that?
Hey, Stanislav, welcome.
This is the conspiracy that drives me the
most. Shares a name with you.
the most crazy because I don't like it.
Like if you're going over to your nerd friend's house, you're not going, when's the wildest dinner?
Ebenezer
You know
Musk.
your nerd friend has boring dinners, and you're like, okay, I'll just come to any dinner.
Yeah.
He's specifically asking for the wildest shit.
This is the one that I hate the most.
Yeah.
Because this one scares the shit out of me.
I want the craziest party of all time.
That
I
was
want the wildest one.
saddest shit I've ever seen.
And Epstein's like, oh, yeah, man. Like, he's trying to talk in code.
He curbed Elon. He was too hungry.
Is Elon the corniest billionaire?
Dude.
1000%.
So all the positive PR Rogan's been doing for Elon over the years is now being all undone.
It's embarrassing.
Rogan's always said Elon's the coolest and his favorite billionaire.
Stanislav.
Which is just cringy as hell. But now there's always going to be an elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's his full name.
Whenever Joe talks about him.
He's technically named after Stan Mikita.
Or when he has him on. You know, that's going to be really interesting. I wonder if Rogan has the balls to bring this up to him. I doubt it. But let me know what you guys think.
You don't know who Stan Mikita is. You technically do if you've ever seen Wayne's World. Stan Mikita's Donuts.
And if you want to
that was a real hockey player. He was a legend on the Blackhawks.
stay up to date with everything, make sure you check out the Patreon. I just posted a new video about how MAGA's calling for Trump to sue Tim Dillon.
Yeah, that shit is hilarious, by the way. Tim Dillon is just going for it. He's just like, you know what? I got what I needed from you fucks. And when he said that shit, that made me a fan, I gotta say. All right, going back to this for a reason, because there it is. Hold on.
Elijah wants to act like he's some moral, high and mighty, better than everyone man. He was fired.
Isn't this Herschel Walker's kid?
From his job for inappropriate behavior. And not even a year ago at a conservative conference, he did my friend 4 times in one night, unprotected.
You have that
Damn, dude, this got a little bit more messy.
post-ejaculate clarity. Post-nut clarity, they call it online these days. But like, because you realize, like, after you nut, you're like, you're just a bunch of holes. And that's really sad because then it devalues women. So then your view of women becomes so
Jesus
low
Christ.
because women really are just a
Oh, yeah. Mr. Moral High Ground here.
bunch of holes today.
Fucking Christ.
Dumb bitch, please. I'm trying to, like, god damn it. Being such a fucking whore. I'm like, literally like, oh, hey, you know what? You had a couple beers. Oh, why do you lie to me? Why do you lie to me?
Dude.
You don't like shrimp.
I'm pretty sure this guy's cooked. Like,
We
I don't know. Turning Point might pick him up.
have a lot to talk about.
Careful. I don't know if she has permissions set for us. So.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And a trip into hell is precisely what this video is. I think for a lot
Isn't she the one that was on Her Take with Anna Kasparian?
of people, this video is going to be a long time coming. And for my new subscribers and for new
Yeah, I think she
friends
is,
of the
because
channel,
that, like,
you
half
are all going
English,
to
half Australian
be
accent.
extremely confused, and I do not blame you for that. Your mama bird had a life before I hatched all of you from your eggs, okay? That was a weird analogy. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it
but
was.
Jokes aside, I think it is also worth noting too that as this video progresses, I want you to keep in mind that while all of this to most of you is
I
spectator
don't know who
sport,
Sydney wants.
and more specifically blood sport, this is my actual life, and the things that have happened have directly impacted my actual life. So the subject matter of this video is very sad and very dark, and it has brought me a tremendous amount of stress and pain over the last
Yeah, she's a conservative commentator.
she is. And
Okay,
I
so
say
yeah,
it's
she is from Her
dark
Take.
because it concerns a masterclass in manipulative behavior, compulsive and pathological lying, cheating, what I consider to be a form of grooming of younger men, sexual assault, and a host of other really untoward and negative things. It also concerns me being harassed both privately and publicly since about 2022-ish, and not being able to defend myself during this entire time. Funnily enough,
from who?
After all of these years, everybody has been able to weigh in on my situation but me. And finally, I'm in a position where I would like to tell my side of the story and hopefully give myself some closure. So for those of you who don't know, I was friends with and formerly worked with an individual and an online commentator called Elijah Schaefer, who was recently exposed for having an affair, so to speak, with one of his employees.
No. You don't get the mince words. He straight up had an affair and they both got caught publicly.
A woman named Sarah Stock.
And Sarah Stock is a trad wife influencer. Are you really gonna see? This is my favorite part is when when someone like us gets to watch them try and pass their stuff off with their narrative.
Show you some unrelated clips of these two for visual purposes, so you can put a name to a face.
You know, I was actually nervous for everybody, considering the fact that like you were trying to pull the sword out and like you just didn't. You were trying to pull
and it
it
was
out.
kind of heavy, and I almost like dropped it on my shoulder too, and
not good at wielding the sword. That's definitely a true statement. So she is blonde.
For those who are not familiar with Elijah and his history as a commentator, the reason
I mean, this is who you're in bed with, so fucking, you know what? Don't be surprised.
Information and these allegations appalled a lot of people and led them to accusing him of hypocrisy online is because Elijah, for years, has talked about his relationship
Trad wives are cringe and
with
performative.
Christianity, giving himself over to God and his journey as a Christian trying to do better and be better. In this podcast, for example, from 3 years ago, he talks about his history of doing drugs and his youth and, I suppose, not living up to the expectations of the church, but navigating his way through his belief system. It's worth noting too that despite his discussions around trying to be a better Christian and routinely telling us that he has given himself over to God and become a better person in the process, he simultaneously has continued to make comments like this.
You have that post-ejaculate clarity, post-nut clarity, they call it online these days. But like, because you realize like after you nut, you're like, you're just a bunch of holes. And that's really
Yeah, it sounds like you didn't actually, do the thing that you're talking about.
yeah, because then it devalues women. So then your view of women becomes so
Like you didn't just go rub one out. You had to, ruin your lives, your life, your wife's life, your kids' lives, and this newlywed and her fiance, who I genuinely, even though he's a dipshit and he believed in the trad wife shit, there's a part of me that does kind of feel a little bit bad for him because he's the only one that got truly fucked in all this.
so low because women really are just a bunch of holes today. But that doesn't mean that's who they have to be or who God made them to be or what they should be. And I think that a lot of the hatred that I have towards
And my favorite part is they're going to still be welcome in their churches, no problem, because God's forgiveness.
women and a lot of the
except for libs.
hatred a lot of men have towards women is simply the product of generations of sin and rebellion that have created women to be something that they're not. They're not feminine, they're masculine.
Anyway, prior to the information about his alleged affair dropping, Elijah tweeted a series of things about his wife and children being kidnapped, then tweeted that he'd lost his car, or that I suppose it was stolen, and
I can't find my wife, you guys.
I don't know where this came from, but some people were talking about him saying that he'd lost his gun, which led a lot of people online to speculate that he had murdered his family. After this, he deleted those tweets, but then posted that his wife had actually left him and he was just sober and sad. After this, a host of additional information came to light, and the reason why none of this surprises me
Where do you fit in this?
is because this is very similar to many of the claims that I made myself about Elijah years ago. And when these claims were coming out from me, a lot of people said that I was lying. There were people who flat out said that I was trying to Me Too Elijah, but we'll come back to all of that later. Soon, these affair accusations were substantiated in some capacity by an audio recording where we can hear Sarah, Elijah's employee, admitting that he got her drunk and reportedly the two hooked up.
Because it was like at CPAC the 2 nights. You're there, and the second night I was like breaking out in like a rash, and so he's like, oh, like get some Benadryl, it'll help with the rash. And like now I'm thinking back and it's like that's probably why I like blacked out, because
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not sure if she's gonna. I don't know what she's gonna say, but we have watched the Abba and Preach takes on this one. The fact is, after this, she continued to see him.
he like intentionally gave me Benadryl and like fed me a bunch of shots and stuff. And,
It
like,
does kind of
obviously,
make
it's,
her
like,
entire argument just fall
stupid
apart.
on my part to like go along with that, but at the same time it's like he obviously like knew what he was doing.
It is worth noting that I personally fully believe
Oh, this isn't just innuendo. There is proof on this one.
this because in the
This isn't, dude. This isn't me just going and laughing at a bunch of right-wingers who might have done something. They did this one. They got busted. And the funniest part is the person who broke this fucking story was Milo
time
Yiannopoulos.
that Elijah and I were friends, it
This was all right-wing infighting. All of it.
was not a running theme, but it was well understood that he would try to get people blackout drunk. Now, his motivations for doing so, I could not tell you, but it's worth understanding that this is a pattern of behavior. After this, more
Yeah, that's what most, like, you know, predators do.
audio was released of Elijah drunkenly either berating his wife. It's quite unclear who is actually filming what he is saying. What I think is happening is that he is just talking about her in an awful way.
You voted for Trump?
To somebody else. Obviously, that
Well,
doesn't excuse
how you feeling about that one now?
this whatsoever, and this is an incredibly hard listen, fair warning, but this is something that Elijah would do, where he would get drunk and then discuss people like this.
Dumb bitch.
Is Milo a credible source? No, that's actually the bitch of it. Usually he would not be, but he came with a level of receipts that made these two admit it publicly. Like, they came out and just admitted, yes, this was a thing. She tried to even say that he was grooming her because she doesn't want more accountability than him. And like we just saw it. This guy panicked so hard that people thought that he may have killed his wife.
Please. I'm trying to, like, god damn it. Being such a fucking whore. I'm like literally like, oh hey, you know what? You had a couple beers. Oh, why do you lie to me? Why do you lie to me? You know why? 'Cause you're a fucking whore and you're a bitch. And you need to shut the fuck up. How about that? Because when I talk to you the truth, you become a fucking whore. And I don't want to be around you. Oh, I'm not a whore. Yeah, maybe you're not. You act like one. How about that? Oh, well,
This guy is a real piece of shit, guys. And this is honestly why it never surprises me, where it's just like, wow.
How about this?
Although, to keep it fair, after this one, I'll talk about another piece of shit.
I can handle your shit.
You know what? Here.
Fucking divorce me. Take my son. Do what the fuck you want. How about this? Shut the fuck up, because I'm your husband, and I'm trying to support you and be your husband. Well, you had a couple of beers with someone. Oh, god damn it. I was honest with you. Do you know what I got in return, being honest? This shit. So fuck you. Honestly, from my bottom of my heart, fuck you, you bitch. I fucking will never be honest with you. You're a fucking ungrateful bitch. So fuck you.
There were also a series of claims made online about Elijah
Wow.
that refer directly to his proclivities.
Wow.
And
In a court of law, guys,
His
like, you ever been privy to somebody that's in civil court with a divorce proceeding, which I've had the the joy of doing, where I was there for a totally different reason, but I got to watch a lot of divorce proceedings, like, kind of go through this stuff. Oh shit, dude.
Same-sex relations.
When they play this in front of the court,
There was also a dossier
everybody just
that I don't know if it was leaked or if it was just sent to a bunch of people, I'm not sure, but there was a dossier that came out that detailed a bunch of new allegations about Elijah and his current behavior and many of the things that he is currently doing. The YouTuber Tree of Logic, who is a friend of the channel, covered this dossier in a video, which I will link in the description box if you are interested in hearing the extent of the claims made against him by who I believe is a former employee. But it is worth noting here that this is not the first time that Elijah has been accused of untoward behavior. At the end of December 2022, an influencer called Christian Walker exposed that Elijah had cheated on his wife previously with one of Christian Walker's friends.
Elijah wants to act like he's some moral, high and mighty, better than everyone man. He was fired from his job for inappropriate behavior. And not even a year ago at a conservative conference, he did my friend 4 times in one night, unprotected, while he was married. Go get your family life and your morality together, adulterer. You go study up on what morality actually is, because it ain't cheating on your wife. I met your wife. She was really kind, and it's gross to what you do to her behind her back when you go to conservative conferences without her.
YouTuber Blair White also tweeted about Elijah in the past, alluding to his interactions with men in a not entirely platonic sense. It was also reported back in 2022 that Elijah was fired from his job at a right-wing network due to reportedly sexually assaulting a female colleague. On this front too, I do think it's worth noting that I know of at least 2 other situations where Elijah groped or was sexually inappropriate, sexually harassed women. In one of those situations, I have screenshots corroborating that, but could not get permission from the person involved to publish them, which is completely understandable. In the other situation, there is audio of this floating around, and again, I am just not going to share people's stories like that if they are not interested in being involved. But I do want to make note of this because, once again, I think it's important for establishing a pattern of behavior. Editing Sydney from the future here, I just want to make note of the fact that this information at this juncture is, of course, only alleged. These situations are extremely awful when they transpire, and I would never want to put anybody else, especially not these specific women, in any awkward type of situation. And frankly, that's exactly the same way I feel about any young men who have articulated to me in the past that Elijah made them feel uncomfortable. For the men as well, there is so much stigma surrounding these events, and I just don't
Dude, TPUSA events sound like a fucking cesspool.
think it's my place to tell anybody else's story.
The fact that Grindr consistently crashes, I mean, Jesus, the sexual deviance that goes on at these events is insane.
Because people have been doing that to
Like,
me for years,
holy
and so,
crap.
Yeah, I'm just not going to do that. A handful have talked publicly, such as one young man who recently said in a Twitter space that he had to put a chair up against a door when he stayed at Elijah's house.
All right, this is
because
really,
he was afraid
got
Elijah
one piece
would
of hair
break
that
in
just
and
will
do
not
something to
stop
him.
hitting me, like,
He also
right in
said
the
that
nose.
Elijah would walk around drunk with his gun. In other messages, I was told by a friend in the industry about his conversation.
I'm not trying to change your mind to be left wing, but if you do end up pivoting your politics a little more left,
Too young.
then you know what? I've done a good service.
Influencer.
Because honestly, my biggest thing that I try to accomplish on this channel is to break you from your bubble. I don't care if you're on the right or the left. You need to get out of your bubble. If you say something like CNN, mainstream media, like anytime that I'm watching something like that, that tells me that you are more than comfortable sitting in your bubble. If anything, you get mad when people break from their bubble, which tells me that you're trying to sow dissent, that you do not want us ever coming together on any common points, which the only people that want that are the people that are uncomfortable with losing control.
Where one warned the
Now, what really gets me is when people of a certain tax bracket are being used as the cannon fodder, but they're the ones out there, like, they're the loudest voices out there defending it.
other about never being alone with Elijah due to his behavior. On top
But no, this is just some tea, man. Like, honestly, I had already heard about this. I had already kind of watched a few videos about this, but this is even worse because, again, the fact that they ignored her accusations and this guy was able to do this up to this point. This is why, honestly, when you see signs now at these protests, you're probably seeing them tomorrow in a lot of the coverage, that they protect pedos, because it sure seems like I'm gonna be fair here, they protect predators.
On top of that, another young man sent me a video where Elijah went into his
Most of both parties are full of pedos, thieves, liars, and devils.
room and put
mean,
sexual imagery on the wall.
If you're talking about the elite class, yeah, that's how it goes.
Walls and,
Sydney Watson. Here.
some weird stuff on the floor as well. Some of
Jesus.
you might also remember a video
I've never heard of her, but she has over 1 million followers.
that circulated some time ago where a
Jesus.
young Nick Fuentes fan alluded to
Good for her.
Elijah trying to buy him drinks. The teen referred to Elijah as a British cigarette, if you catch my drift, a bundle of sticks, if you will, and discussed how Elijah and another person called Ali Alexander,
You're
a
welcome.
known PDF file on the right wing, tried to hit on him. Another individual who is privy to Elijah's behavior shared their own screenshot with me where they allege that he is the Diddy of the right wing. In this message, this person alleges that he used his position to manipulate young men and women, give them drugs and alcohol, and put them in compromising positions while intoxicated or high. This person adds that he would later,
Dude, this guy is a
take
fucking
photos of them
predator.
in
Like,
order
this
to
is the
use those photos
this is the definition of a fucking predator. And on top of it, he's married and like makes his whole public persona is being a trad husband. Are you fucking kidding me? Guys, this is why you need to start questioning your, like, when you see this, do you feel uncomfortable? Did any of you guys watch this Elijah guy and now kind of feel like, oh my God, oh no, oh no?
Them at a later date if
Or are
need
you
be.
guys sitting here thinking that she's lying and that this guy is just like, these women are just going after him? Like, what? Now I really want to
This
know.
person goes on to add that
Because I'll
his
show you the difference in how the left reacts to these types of accusations to
cheating
this.
was an open secret, but he would threaten those around him with legal repercussions
I get not liking cancel culture, but if you dislike cancel culture to the point where you're unwilling to cancel somebody that needs to be, that's a problem.
if they said anything. Now, I want to be clear. I know that to a bunch of people, this will all seem like very unhelpful gossip.
No, I'm right wing. I've always thought he was a grifter. Now I just think he's an awful person
And
too.
or-
Cool. I appreciate that. Thank you, Etom.
I would actually agree with you. But considering I was friends...
See? Look, holy shit. Every once in a while, I do get genuinely surprised when it's like, oh, wow, you gave me a real answer that wasn't like a troll answer. Thank you for that, man.
...with this person and in his orbit for a number of years. I think this
nice.
is well beyond a person who has some out-of-the-box proclivities and an inability to stay faithful to his wife. We are talking about a person who...
No, that is not out-of-box proclivities. That guy is a blatant chauvinist who... He's one of those, like, he's a classic chauvinist, you know, one of the dudes that listen to a lot of, like, the rap music, you know, the hoes in different area codes. I got my main bitch, my side bitch, that kind of shit.
Has done
Yeah, that's a lot of that.
untold damage to the people around.
It's almost like we call that toxic masculinity, but then people were just like, we can't approach that. That's an uncomfortable subject.
Who has threatened his own friends, who has lied prolifically, and who continues to act depraved while presenting himself online as a Christian figure who should be instructing other people and giving other people advice on how to live. And I have seen almost everything that I am talking about here with my own eyes. It's probably worth saying, but I do hope it's obvious, that my motivation for making this video is not to be vengeful or malicious. I freely admit that I do have a lot of anger in me over the things that have happened over the years, but that is certainly not the guiding principle here. I feel and have always felt that Elijah's behavior is
Sorry, guys, I had skip and stream.
and I just cannot in good conscience sit back while this person is able to probably successfully outrun a series of serious accusations again, like he did with the initial SA allegation in 2022. In making this video, I of course feel quite motivated to give my side of the story and to lay some rumors to rest and explain some of my interactions with Elijah and sort of what I've been experiencing over the years.
Your weird obsession with my hair tells me that you got...
But I also want to...
It's fucking weird.
Balance that by giving some...
It's just so fucking weird.
...insights into this person and some...
Like, did you guys do this to Alex Jones or any of those people too as they were balding? I mean, Ben Mycelis, you guys go into Midas Touch, just...
Things that I do think are important enough to be articulated.
You fucking profoundly weird motherfuckers.
You know, truthfully, I think that he needs to seek help or in the very least remove himself from the...
I guess I got to do it again, guys. I got to go back to my actual cowlick.
For the most part, the screenshots that I'm sharing in this
Troll,
video,
he's gone.
I do have permission to post. I asked everybody if it was okay. There might be one or two that I include that I haven't gotten express permission to put in here, but the reason I'm sharing those ones and they...
No, I have more balls than Tim Pool. I'm willing to just own whatever happens up here, you'll see it. I'm not going to hide it under a hat.
Come a little bit later is because I want to highlight what I said, not what the other person was saying. Also, the sole reason
I just hope karma gets your ass real bad. Either that or already did. Most people who are obsessed with like that type of hair
screenshots is because I want to corroborate
please no pep girl.
what I'm saying.
What, you don't like the hipster pep?
And I don't want anybody to
Bullshit.
accuse me of basically just talking out my butt.
For that, you
I'm
get
not
hipster
doing
pep.
that. Since all of this new information has dropped, a ton of people have said to me that I am vindicated because, like I mentioned, I did make a series of similar claims about Elijah a number of years ago. Now, at the time when those claims were made public, a bunch of people took that as an opportunity and an invitation to not only lie about me, but to say that I was trying to Me Too Elijah, to question my morals and my integrity, and also they took that as an opportunity to drag my name and my reputation
Give us
through
emo.
the mud. I admittedly still feel a ton of anger and frustration about all of that taking place, as I'm sure, most of you would in a similar situation. Being misrepresented is just not something that I appreciate.
Well, no, especially when you're in a media space and like that had major impacts on her career.
I have never appreciated
because again, in the chauvinist society that we live in, she was the one that lost followers over any of this shit.
That, and there is something uniquely terrible about not being afforded the ability to have your own say and to knock down crappy rumors and things that are just certifiably untrue. When I initially met Elijah, in 2019.
Wait a minute.
For all intents and purposes, he was just a
So if I do like a Triple H, like spit in someone's face, does that mean that they have been pepper sprayed?
regular newlywed guy. He was just a guy. And by 2020, he
You know what? As the authority on this,
had
yes.
moved to Texas and then encouraged me to move to Texas and to move into the same apartment building, which I did. And so we were neighbors. And this was really cool for me because his wife was one of my closest friends and she and I hung out all the time and I really enjoyed our time together. Whereas, and I think this is important, he and I rarely spent time together, just the two of us. The behavior in question and a lot of sort of what we're talking about now really only started to take place in 2021-ish, and that is when it really started to accelerate. Elijah and I
Dude, this guy.
eventually had a show together on
Oh my God.
a right-wing network between mid-2021 to the beginning of 2022. I ended up taking legal action against my former
Yo, dude. See, this is the thing. Most people with healthy S lives, they like, this is why I don't kink shame when it comes to like, you know, swingers or any of that shit, because they're pretty healthy about that. It's assholes like this
employer.
where he like his impulse is to just fuck whoever's around him, like easy access to,
which
like what the fuck
is accessible and public online through court records and through
Wow.
legal document websites like PESA and whatnot. Detailed accusations of hostile work environment, sexual discrimination, and sexual harassment perpetrated by Elijah. We settled that lawsuit at the end of 2024. I signed a confidentiality agreement. So
Yeah, I was about to say, how long till Trump appoints Elijah to a position of or a high position of
It
power?
is worth noting for the purposes of this video that I am not going to talk about that suit. I'm not going to talk about the company I worked for, my time at the company, or anything
That is called a slap suit.
relating to anything to do with that.
Yes.
All of my claims about Elijah's behavior
No slap suit.
are publicly available through PESA and through court records.
Q-berry fruits. What up?
And the other websites like Justia and whatnot that
Oh, nice. A fennec.
have, I guess, legal documents on them. Just to be clear, once again, what I'm saying in this video has nothing to do with my former employer. It doesn't have anything to do with my time at that company, and it has nothing to do with the ins and outs of my lawsuit. What I am talking about here relates to things that I saw in my personal life, and a lot of what I am articulating has actually taken place after both Elijah and I left that company. Anyway, when my lawsuit dropped and my accusations and claims about Elijah became public, a lot of people said that I was a horrible feminist demon person who was trying to get even with a man. People said, like I mentioned, that I was trying to be too Elijah. People just flat out said that I was lying, that I had made things up. It's sort of hard to explain how this happened, but also, as my relationship broke down with Elijah, a lot of my close friends either jumped ship completely or just decided to say nothing. And
Doesn't surprise
I
me.
think the reason for the saying nothing is obviously because people don't want to be involved in drama and whatnot, which I get and I can respect that. The people who jumped ship, though, I think that must have to do with the fact that Elijah always made it seem like he could help you get ahead if you were very loyal to him, which, you know, was always kind of nonsense.
It's an abuse of power.
Because he made out like he had all these connections and could do all these things, but it very, very rarely materialized.
What's the lore?
But, you know, when you're in a situation where if
Elijah Schaefer cheated on his wife, got caught with another content creator, and now she's making her video about how she dealt with similar things from Elijah.
you're a smaller creator or whatever and you want to grow, you know, you're going to hit your wagon
And now you have because this is fracturing the conservative party,
to the person that you
at least the online conservative party,
think can get you further ahead.
conservative movement.
Which was not me at the time. And, you know, I think it's
Yeah, the weird part is I disagree with her on everything politically, but I still feel horrible that she had to go through
crap,
this. Like, this is so fucked up.
obviously, but I get it. You know, why would you want to
Like, couldn't just be friends with his wife, couldn't just work in the work at the media space that she thought, you know, oh, hey, this is going to really further my career. No,
Why would you want?
Realistically, it was all at the whim of a fucking creep that was just waiting for his chance to pounce on her.
Side with the person who's getting
Jesus
publicly
Christ, he literally views all women like they're fucking objects to him.
lambasted. That's
And he kind of admitted that when he was talking about how, like, post-nut clarity.
sort of doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah, you get that post-nut clarity, then you're looking at them and they're just a bunch of holes. Instead of, you know, people.
But with that said, the other component to this is that because Elijah is a pathological liar,
Keep teaching your kids this one.
I can
Like, seriously, keep teaching your sons this.
Only-
Keep this whole toxic fucking bullshit going.
imagine the things that he was saying
And then wonder why the incel movement's growing.
about me
Why more and more women are just choosing not to even engage.
behind the scenes to people, and you know what kind of a picture he was painting.
Republicans are okay with the Epstein's best friend being the president. They will not do anything over little Elijah.
So I think there are a lot of factors with that. The reason I bring it up is because I do want to demonstrate that I was publicly going through, you know, a lot of horribleness, and then at the same time, I didn't really have any friends, and I didn't really have anyone around me.
Doesn't surprise me.
Almost to add insult to injury, a bunch of people in the industry
It's almost like when you have reprehensible worldviews that you're not going to exactly make a lot of friends.
actually reached out to me at the
You know what's really funny is one of the main criticism that I see a lot of leftists get is the fact that they do have friends
Time to
and like they go out, they do things.
express their support.
Somehow they make that a negative.
But they wouldn't do so publicly, which again, you guys have to understand, you know, when you're talking about angry audiences and all this kind of thing, like people just don't want to be involved in drama. And, you know, to a large extent, I get that. But with that said, Elijah's behavior was an open secret and something that most people knew about because they witnessed it at events and parties and whatever that were taking place in the space. Like this message from a big creator who told me that anytime this person would see Elijah at events, they'd run away because he was creepy. Those of us who are friends with Elijah also got to witness a lot of this behavior in real life all of the time.
Yet you sat there and still were friends with him?
Because he has a problem with substances, and when people are on substances, they obviously behave in a way that is different to how they act in real life. Real life? No, what am I saying here? When they're sober, they act differently to being sober. I am tired and hungry. But despite all of this, I feel like I sort of got hung out to dry because a lot of people knew that what I was saying was truthful, but they just weren't prepared to publicly back me. And so this narrative that I was this horrible demon lady was born and then persisted, which sort of makes no sense because if we're being honest with ourselves, there is really no meaningful benefit to a woman on the right wing in the media space, especially going after a man publicly in the media space for his behavior as it pertains to sex-based mistreatment. People automatically do not believe you because of the Me Too movement and other movements like this, and people assume that you are weaponizing the legal system. There's no upside to this. I'm serious, there's no upside.
Do you realize that she just actually tried to denigrate the Me Too movement while also not realizing that she's technically Me Tooing?
There's no believe all women for the right wing. So for me, my
no shit
motivation is and has always been
this is why you shouldn't really protect an ideology that doesn't protect you. Odd.
To advocate for myself and to tell the truth. But self-advocation doesn't exactly keep you warm at night, and this became a very
Never wonder why you don't have a lot of friends or a partner.
isolating,
odd,
lonely, sad time. And honestly, it was one where I was being bombarded day in and day out with abusive messages and comments from Elijah's audience. This went on for
doesn't surprise me.
Years, and I bet you this is going to happen to this video as well. Don't be surprised if those of you who lurk the comments see a bunch of this crap.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I think I know what we're doing after this.
People will come to
read some comments.
To basically videos that I made, videos that I was in, whatever, and just leave heinous, horrible, horrible comments, and obviously messages as well. As soon as my lawsuit dropped, I was correctly instructed to not say anything or respond to anything publicly. So I kind of just had to sit back and roll with being lied about and misrepresented. And so began one of the darkest times in my little life. I think a lot of you knew during this period that I was not okay because
how is this what I need to validate my worldview? I think I'm right. She just admitted that she doesn't have friends. She doesn't have a partner. So
you would reach out a lot. Like people would reach out a lot and message me and be like, hey, are you doing okay? You don't seem okay. And I was suffering inside. It's kind of funny because I wouldn't necessarily describe myself as a particularly
This nerd again.
strong person.
Panic Studios. What's up, man?
Quite emotional, but I would say that I am someone who
Watching Olympic hockey?
endures.
No, I really haven't.
So I forced myself to put myself back out there and to start doing shows and
It's not the same, and I hate to say this, but having Russia not be there isn't really, doing the thing where you got the world's best out there.
interviews and
But
go on panels
they do deserve the ban.
and whatnot. But looking back, it
It's
was
just-
like every show I did at the time, I was trying to minimize myself because I didn't want to be bashed anymore. For example, when I was on trigonometry, I so wanted to say all these things and go hard on specific ideas, but I don't know, I completely held back because I wanted to spare myself from further attacks. And it's just so
No.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
to admit that.
Shit,
you
this
know,
is from
because
her own audience too.
That's
She's running from trolls from her own audience.
that's not who I am.
It's kind
I've
of
never
funny.
been this sad, weak thing, and yet, I was just I was downtrodden. That sounds pathetic. I don't know how else to describe it. I internally was a steaming pile of sads, and there was no escaping it. I'm still sort of there today a little bit, where I don't weigh in on a heap of stuff because I just want to be left alone. And to be quite frank with all of you, that's why this video was a really big back and forth for me mentally, trying to decide if I wanted to weigh in and wanted to potentially put a target on my back, which this is going to inevitably do. And as you can tell, that the angry side won out. So yeah,
Odd. It's almost like we can recognize that when women, come out with their stories that they're afraid of backlash, It's almost like we understand that the victims of the Epstein stuff didn't come out with it for a while, or the ones that did are truly heroes. And
the more that Elijah would make comments about me and his weird little cronies would make comments about me, the more that his audience would come to the comment sections of whatever I was posting about or videos or whatever and write horrific fanfic about
my friend Momford just got passed at the mothership.
raping
Even if he got passed at the mothership, he's not getting in the green room.
and murdering me.
Dude, look what they did to Andrew Callahan, and then tell me that you're getting in there.
And it was relentless for a while there, and admittedly it made me kind
They
of
don't let
It honestly
anybody in
got
that green room.
to the point where people would
Even working comics. That's actually one of the problems I've heard about that club, is the fact that they do not have a very friendly atmosphere. It's not like, the Stand where they had the table or any of that.
invite me on their shows, and I'd turn them down and just explain that I didn't want them to have to deal with the heat that having me on would bring.
The door guy, they don't have a door guy at the green room. They have two ex-military, what do you call them? The ex-Navy SEALs.
Because, the comment sections weren't just being overwhelmed.
That's not just a joke. They actually do have like these giant dudes standing at the fucking door of the green room.
For me, they were being overwhelmed,
Which is
from,
mostly
four of
stairs.
these people as well. I'm sorry.
From my understanding, it literally, like, you go upstairs and then the green room's like the whole entire upstairs.
Said I'm hungry. While all this was happening too, I had the pleasure of finding out that Elijah was also talking incredible amounts of crap about me behind the scenes to industry people or to people that I knew at parties and at events and when he was in studio. He told people that I tried to sleep with him, which is just... Ugh. This is also not terribly surprising because he would make this same claim about many of the women who he came into contact with. He said that I tried to break up his marriage. That was a fun one. He said that I was this insane feminist crazy person who he had to sue to shut up. Periodically, I'd get a message saying that Elijah was
So is this guy's career done, or is he just are we gonna forget about this and I'm gonna see him on another panel show in a little bit?
Studio with someone and they heard him say that he won a lawsuit against me for millions of dollars. This one's weird to me because this is so easily disproven and it's just such an odd thing to lie about to begin with.
If making observations about how women like respectful dudes comes off as egotistical to you, then you might be the problem.
I don't know what to do with this one. Recently, actually like a month ago, he was publicly saying this.
Well, Well said, Dave.
He went on Sean Mike Kelly's podcast and said that I sued him and he had to spend millions of dollars to defend himself and that I lost.
You know what's funny? This is the second time I've been sued for millions of dollars. The first time I got sued was for having Nick Fuentes on my show.
You got sued for that?
I got sued for millions of dollars for hosting Nick Fuentes on my podcast.
Who sued you for that?
2022. Sydney Watson, Australian YouTuber who was my co-host at the time. I thought it was weird. I got sued for sexism. And then people thought it was
how orange is
being
he?
sued
I mean, again, when you're mad
for sexual,
when your Lord and Savior is literally Donald Trump, I think that bronzer like on a dude is nothing to question anymore. Like, I'm surprised more fucking right wingers don't have just bronze faces.
Assault or sexual harassment, but it was sex harassment based upon me targeting her as a woman. So they claimed it was about discrimination, but really she was bitter because Nick Fuentes made her look bad on a podcast, and it ruined her reputation. It said she couldn't sue him for being smart.
Is that Elijah Schaefer? Yeah.
Smarter than her. She went after one of her best friends. She was my neighbor too.
Wow.
And yet tried to get me fired. They stole my YouTube channel in the process, crashed my career, got me stuck in lawfare, all because I had a person they didn't like on my podcast. It was a crazy time, but I beat that one.
Yeah, it's weird how the conservative and alt-right stuff kind of fits, but then they're also simultaneously being used to get the alt-right to believe anything but the conspiracies that are true right in front of them.
Got out completely.
It's almost like the PSYOP worked.
Apparently it's not illegal to have Nick on your podcast, but it'll cause you problems.
Now, why Sean hasn't deleted this entire episode, or at least edited this part out of it, I don't know, because Sean is aware of the fact that this is a lie because I DM'd him and told him that. Why Sean did not reach out to me before publishing actual lies, I also don't know, because I would have set the record straight if he just asked. And Sean, if you watch this, or if somebody sends it to you and maybe gives you the Cliff Notes, I will say it's probably in your best interest to delete this kind of thing because you know it's not true. So, I think it's also pretty important to note that while the
She didn't say that she's going to sue him, though,
YouTube
because, again, defamation against a public figure is pretty rough.
video that I have shown you here that I screen recorded has fewer than 1,000 views as of filming this video, Sean Kelly actually cut a clip from
But because it's public figure versus public figure, that actually might have legs.
this podcast and posted it on Instagram and made sure to include my face, which, like, yeah, really great work, Sean. I super appreciated that. By the time I was made aware of it, it had accumulated somewhere between 300,000 to 500,000 views with hundreds or maybe even thousands of comments. I wish I'd taken a screenshot so I could have showed you guys, but yeah, it had lots of views, lots of comments, and I got lots of messages. Because I'm a glutton for punishment, I will, for all of you, link the YouTube podcast in the description box so that you can view it for yourself, because obviously
It's actually lower than that now.
for the sake of brevity, I
No, the divorce rate's actually gone down.
cut out some of what was said, but if you want the full picture, it'll be there for you to watch in your own time. So this never happened. I never sued Elijah, and I genuinely have no idea why people keep running with this when this, again, is so easy
But what's that have to do with the fact that this guy was egregious in his behavior?
to corroborate. If this had happened, there would be public court records about it, which there are not. Elijah also tweeted about this as well, saying in late 2025 that he was wrongfully sued by an
Marriage rate's also gone down. Yeah, it's why conservatives are starting to kind of freak out when they realize that with the SAVE Act that it would target a bunch of married women, and then they also looked at, like, you know, marriage rates between conservatives and liberals. Well,
league and
all of a sudden that data kind of made them a little nervous.
he lost. He said that people defamed him over her slander, which she leaked to the press.
They also looked at the disparity between liberals that have a passport already and people that don't.
Never spoke to the
Guys, they might have overplayed their hand on this one. It's almost like the same party that did the whole gerrymandering with Texas and then all of a sudden didn't see it coming that other states were going to do the same and totally fucking put way too much onus on Texas themselves.
The press.
Yeah.
Never sued him. When he
Short-sightedness? What?
was questioned about this, he said that he had copies of depositions and that he was locked up by an NDA that would disprove what I have to say, and that I got my ass handed to me in court. Again, we were never in legal proceedings with one another. He was never deposed for these made-up legal proceedings, and I never got my ass handed to me in made-up court. Don't do drugs, kids. Anyway, as you can imagine, I once again got an influx of angry little messages calling me all sorts of names and being abusive because of this lie, because someone decided not to fact check and just publish crap that Elijah was saying. And I have to imagine that Elijah would bank on the fact that I wouldn't defend myself, because it's a real catch-22 with these people, right? If you say something and you react to it and respond to it, you're doing two things. Number one, you're giving these people what they want. You're giving them the attention that they so desire, and they kind of win. You are also breathing life into their psychobabble. The other side of this is that if you don't say anything, then you're basically giving them license to keep talking crap about you as much as they want, and they know that you're not going to do anything.
And
to
the stats of
yourself.
brown
On
immigrants
that
who are
point,
having
too,
children
if
scares
I had
them.
done
Yeah.
something here and sent this guy.
Well, that's why, like, honestly, they gave the game away when they were just like, well, maybe interracial marriage should be something that we, like, that we start looking into again. It's like
Like a cease and desist letter or something and asked him to stop lying about me publicly, all that would do is help him further this narrative that there's lawfare being perpetrated against him, and basically strengthen this narrative that he's constructed around himself. And of course, for me, that would just bring about more of the same crap that I have been dealing with for the last 4 years. So to be extremely, extremely clear, so there is no doubt, nothing that Elijah has said about me privately or publicly has been true. And when he inevitably watches this video or is sent this video and goes insane online, which he's going to do, he is going to lie about me some more. And the things that he says about me now are still going to be untrue. And this type of behavior, just by the way, isn't exclusive to Elijah. This is definitely like a running theme with some online personalities and people in the industry and in the media space. When they don't have dirt
You mean powerful men?
on you, when they don't know anything about you,
Yep.
they just lie. They pull lies out of thin air, they make crap up, and they say it with such confidence that people are dumb enough to believe it. And I feel like this has been successfully demonstrated when you consider all the lies that
It's almost like that's how,
Elijah has told about me
preaching conservative values is
so
too.
far to date. So I think the lying, the pathological lying, is a really, really big component to all of this that's definitely going to get missed in all of the drama and the crap that's going on online. And the reason that I want to bring it up is because I think it is how this person has successfully maneuvered so many people in the ways that he wants to, and how he has not only deceived them, but almost had them act based on his dishonesty.
He was more fun to watch when we went to protests and stuff. I'm going to a protest tomorrow. Dude, I've done 60 plus hours of content this fucking within the last 2 weeks.
I would
calm down.
argue that most people,
Jesus.
maybe not most, maybe just a lot of
It's Friday, man. Let me have a little bit of a fucking quieter day.
people who know
Jesus.
things about Elijah are too fearful to
But yes, I'm going to a protest tomorrow.
come forward and say anything about him because they know that he's a
Stay safe at the protest. Thank
loose
you.
cannon. But what I've realized over the years is that it doesn't really matter if you back him or
I'm going to the suburbs, so it's not
not.
gonna be.
He's going to lie about you anyway. He
It's not gonna be like that
will
bad.
threaten to sue you, as he's done on numerous
Detroit or Chicago.
occasions, to random people online. And I know he's done this to at least one of my remaining friends that I have in the media space who never even got close to talking about him. The best way that I can describe it is that Elijah neutralizes anybody who might blow the whistle on him by systematically lying about them to people around that person and him, and also telling lies about that person publicly to cover himself in the event that they might
What's one of the
speak out.
the bigger lies that you claim liberals tell?
He obviously did this to me, but he also did this to other people that were in his life when I was friends with him. He would tell lies about these people and isolate them so that if they ever did say anything, no one would believe them. For example, when I found out that Elijah had cheated on his wife for presumably the first time, he took me out to get coffee with him, or coffee lunch, I suppose, and he proceeded to grill me to ascertain what I knew or didn't know at the time, and then...
Yeah, this is just predator shit, because as I said, I'm going to be fair here. We're going to cover a story about a left-winger who definitely put a hole in the it's not all men thing.
Borderline threatened me about not saying
Makes it very hard because it's like, no, this guy is like a prominent left-wing, I think TikToker and YouTuber.
anything to anyone. And he does it in such a way that the threats are not super obvious.
And I'll be honest, it kind of went quiet.
But the undercurrent is there. And obviously, this did not exclusively just happen to me. This happened to other people in his life. I know that it did. And I think this is probably why he was able to, like I said, maneuver people so well and so easily, and probably why he's been able to keep people quiet for this long. Within the media space completely, and this is probably the same for Hollywood and for left-wing media and blah, 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 there is an element here of mutually assured destruction. So everybody knows everything about each other. People love to gossip. And when you find things out about people that they've done that are horrendous, there's sort of this agreement that takes place that I won't say your horrendous thing if you don't say my horrendous thing. And so there exists this ecosystem of agreed upon not talking. That's not a very fancy way of putting it, but you get what I am saying. This has probably been a very long video as it is, and so this really just brings me to the last and short final point of what I want to say here. I am positive that there are some of you who are thinking, why now, Sid? Why is this the time that you are finally speaking out? NDA aside and, all the other crap aside. And the simple but probably not terribly satisfying answer is that there is now evidence that has come out that has not come from me. I think it is worth understanding that I went through a discovery process as part of the suit that I was involved with, which means that the claims that I made I could corroborate, and I could always corroborate. But the truth of the matter is that this story always needed to be told independently of me in order for a large portion of people to find it credible and to also believe the information.
So this
as I mentioned, and as much as people don't like to hear this, the reality is that if I had been the one to say all of this, there was a very large possibility that I would not have been believed, as I wasn't to begin with, because of
Meanwhile, she's still fighting.
At the end of the day,
she's still fighting to be part of that contingent.
And I'm not just saying that was like a throwaway thing. Like,
your own audience didn't believe you.
It's true. None of us.
And now you're just like,
we're all flawed.
You know what? But liberals still suck.
We've all made mistakes. We've all done and said crap that we wish we could take back, that we regret doing or saying. We have probably wronged people that we wish that we could unwrong.
I like that background.
For lack of a better way of describing it, we've just done things, and I don't think that that's any revelation, but it's the truth.
She has good makeup.
And so, that applies to me.
No, she's a pretty girl, but
I have done things that I wish I could take back. I've said things I wish I could take back. I have acted in ways that are embarrassing to think about, and I don't like it.
Okay, well, that's enough of that. All right, let's see. First minute was a wild ride for someone who has no idea who these people are. The way he talked to his wife is the way I talk to my router when the internet doesn't work. That was despicable. As a Christian, I want to make it very clear that there are a lot of double agents in the church, and they are solely there, or they're there solely. I was technically saying it right the first time. To lead people away from God and Christ. No, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's their intentions. It's not to get laid. Shut the fuck up. No, some of you think that it's just yeah, they're actually trying. They're an agent of the devil. What they're doing is evil, yeah, but no. They are doing it to get their dick wet. Fucking A. And he thinks he deserves it because in this structure of Christianity, funny enough, they kind of tell him that he does. His wife and kids deserve better. I've been married for over 30 years and I am no saint, but I have never even thought about talking to my wife like that. To be fair, she did tell us, as a Christian, husband, father, conservative, and American in that order. This guy's actions sicken and enrage me on a deep personal level. I'm just glad that she had the courage to take the kids and leave. The divorce came out of nowhere. Elijah? Really? Okay. Well, I said I was going to be fair. All right. Hold on, I got to delete this so I don't give the whole game away. But, yeah. So there is a leftist creator that I immediately unsubbed from when I saw what was going on. So if you guys don't know the story, I'm going to just give you a quick breakdown before we watch this because she probably has a lot more to say about it. But there was a creator Potty Mouth Pollyanna. You've probably seen her if you watch any political content on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. She pops up everywhere. I know she's big on Instagram as well. Apparently, she went out with some leftist creators, and during a night out, one of these creators, who you can kind of see already back here, decided to do something really reprehensible. I'm again not going to bury the lead, but this just goes to show that it's like, no, we can call it out on our own, but we can call it out on our own side. But the difference is this guy does not have a career anymore. Like, this is true cancel. Like, this is true cancel culture, except this is good. This is a good example of like, no, I'm glad that he got exposed. I'm glad that we all came together and just said, fuck this guy. So let's take a look.
So this TikToker named Off Jawagon is pretty popular. To be honest, I'm not on this bubble in TikTok. I'm not in this bubble. So all of the people I'm going to talk about are basically new to me, except, funny enough, kind of new to me, but actually been watching his content is Jamel. And Jamel just came across my feed and actually had a run-in with this guy named, sorry, let's go back to it, Jawagon. And Jawagon just put out a statement because this woman here, Potty Mouth Pollyanna, just came forward with allegations, and she's one of, I think, 4 women so far. There might be more.
4? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I thought just the Potty Mouth Pollyanna thing got this, I thought that was just enough, but holy fuck.
Some people are saying,
and he's married.
3, some people are saying 4. And Jawagon, is known to be a huge outspoken, quote, leftist advocate.
Yeah.
And you can see from his work that
Didn't he do it to a few girls too? See, I didn't know that.
Covering
now I'm learning.
ICE raids and things related to that. So you can see this video here.
Yeah. Yeah, we literally watched this guy. I think that I was a fan of him for like 2 weeks. I watched his video about how Nick Shirley was full of shit. I was like, oh, based. Yeah.
Oops, I'm sorry. It's me.
Immediately, when he got accused of this from Pollyanna, I was just like, oh, unsub.
My bad.
Change tactics to target children. According to staff members on the ground at some Minneapolis and St. Paul schools, plainclothes ICE agents have been approaching volunteers and staff impersonating journalists and members of Indivisible. They have been asking about transportation operations for children, been asking to take pictures.
So he's pretty popular. If you go to his main channel, he has almost 800,000 followers on TikTok.
Jesus.
Nothing to scoff at. 19 million views in total. He's got a ton of videos, okay? He's in Minnesota, so that's a pretty big deal. And he's a pretty big voice. But I don't know who he is. Isn't that amazing how people can have such big followings and I don't know who they are? But that's the bubbles, right? That's us being kind of like together and isolated at the same time. We're all doing different things. Well, he posted a statement after the women came forward. It says, in regards to recent accusations, this is his statement. I want to start by saying I am incredibly sorry to the people I have hurt and the people I have let down. Being intoxicated does not change any behavior that was mine and my responsibility. And while my recollection of the accusations are limited, I believe and take responsibility for them. I'm deeply ashamed of my actions at the bar, the pain I have caused, and the disappointment I am to myself and all whose trust I violated. I am seeking counseling and will be taking a step. Shoot, his username is blocking this. Hold on, let me go to this one. I am seeking counseling and will be taking a step back. My sincerest apologies. Now, of course, this statement we've seen a billion gazillion times by predators, right? It's always this, I'm going to counseling. Always, always, always. And I think it's because they think that's what we want to hear, but that's not what we want to hear, especially in the way that he made the statement. So if you go to his comment section, people are very unhappy. And someone said, please check in on his wife and make sure she's okay, which I didn't even realize as I was reading about this guy this morning that he had a wife. So he's married. And now there's like all these women who have come forward. This person says you'll be charged and be jailed if women stand up, which I'm sure Mandy is raring to go. This is an admission of guilt. Drinking is no excuse.
No.
Bro, releasing a statement instead of showing your face.
No, and the thing is, like, he was known to have like a pretty bad problem too. Like, dude, I gotta call it out because like guys like Jolly Good Ginger, like how did they not see it?
Shame and actual remorse.
Like They got like a creator clique now where you got Pollyanna or Potty Mouth Pollyanna is part of it with Jolly Good Ginger. Off Joe Wagon was part of it. And then that guy, the woke farmer, he's part of it.
Is A Coward's Way Out. So then you go to this woman here is, I guess, the first woman to speak out. So
Which
I just want
I used to have a different opinion until I started, in my, like, I became a creator and then I got invited to creator spaces and things
go
like
ahead
that.
and let her speak for herself.
Yes. If a clique forms, that's how that goes.
And then we'll get to the other TikToks.
Not sitting here shitting on it. What I'm shitting on is the fact that it's like, wait a minute, 4 different women. And then he's just kind of had this track record. He also had a track record of getting plastered drunk. And not once you just didn't see this?
That I have ready for us.
And he fucking violated that. Yesterday, Jordan released this statement with regards to the accusations that have been made against him. I am here to say that I am essentially victim A. I'm the person who came forward first. In this statement, which is really not taking accountability, he says, and while my recollection of the accusations are limited, I believe and take responsibility for them. So now let me tell you my recollection, because it's pretty fucking vivid. Friday, January 16th, we were all out in Chicago. We had all had some drinks. We convened at this bar at the end of the night, and at the back of the bar, Jordan and his friend sitting in a booth behind a table. I come back there. Jordan's like, come on. And they make room. And I remember getting a vibe. I could tell Jordan was super drunk.
It makes me wonder if it was one of the Sky Bars.
And like my spidey senses, and I saw the space. I go, my ass isn't gonna fit there. Like I was trying to be just like, I'm just gonna stand, but they were like, no, come on. So I against my better judgment sat down. It's important to know I had this big winter coat and it was in my lap. That will be important in a minute. So we're sitting there. Jordan and I get talking immediately about Minnesota. I think his hand was like this at one point, and we were talking, and it was like familiar. We've been friends for a long time. I thought I could trust him. I didn't think anything of it. I see, according to this, when he broke it down for somebody else, he asked his friend what had happened, and it was like he was just flirty. I could see that. I could see how that was the point of view.
Hold up. I'm gonna
like this at one point, and we were talking, and it was like familiar. We've been friends for a long time. I thought I could trust him. I didn't think anything of it.
I hate that she even used that language for herself. I still feel I hate that we do this. We train not her. I love her. I support her. I don't know who she is, but I support her. We use this language of like, I should have known better, or I thought I could trust him, or I thought this. Of course we did. Of course we do. Right? But hold on, I want to read this text.
I see, according to this.
Yeah, because didn't Brittany have her own thing with Destiny?
Okay. The text is really small. It says, I appreciate you coming.
Would probably help if I knew like all the ins and outs of all this internet drama.
To me. I was certainly very
I haven't been into
intoxicated
that
and
kind
have
of
little
stuff for a while.
recollection. There's no excuse. We were in a crowded bar. And from what my buddy who was there with us said, there was some consensual flirting, and that ended at the bar.
You know what's weird? More people from MAGA were interested in hearing about the other girl.
I talked to the
and I brought up like how here's an example of the left doing it. Nothing.
user who said it was consensual
Weird.
flirting, but went a little too far.
I think they'd care
I
more.
apologized profusely and took accountability with her for my actions. Then this happened. This was all in public. I have always said believe women, so I'm choosing to believe women, even though it's very hard for me in this moment. It's a little blurred here. Obviously, you never expect to be the one they are saying believe all women about. I'm going to put out a statement. I'm so incredibly ashamed. Yeah, so there's a multi-layer to this already where you are socializing, there is alcohol, but also, do you never drink? Do you always do this when you drink? Why were you flirting? How cognizant were you? But also, like, how frustrating. Like, how
Okay, if we're doing this thing where it's just like
frustrating for everybody in that situation. Again, we don't know
he shouldn't have been flirting. It's like, what?
the whole story yet, but you could just imagine it so easily. How frustrating is the situation that you think, like, you're with safe people, no one's going to do anything while they're intoxicated, and then one people that you think definitely isn't going to do anything not only does it, but then he talks about consensual flirting. Consensual flirting what? Aren't you married? What do you mean consensual?
That doesn't matter, actually.
Flirting.
That doesn't matter. I've been married for a very, very long time. Me and my wife have had multiple laughs about, like, yeah, you're getting a little flirty. It's just like, eh.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is this consensual flirting meaning your wife is in on it? Like, it's an
No.
open marriage?
No, you dum-dum. No, sometimes flirting is just flirting.
What does that even?
It's one of these things where it's like you've been married and with the same person for a long time, so it's just like, damn, still got
Even
it.
mean, right?
Like, it's literally as innocuous as that, but if you're gonna fucking take it there, like, I'm gonna just call you on being kind of disingenuous and not knowing what you're talking about.
when he broke it down
Flirting is good for a relationship. It is.
for somebody else.
Like, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
He asked his friend what
This is coming from somebody that's been married. Like, I've been with the same woman for 22 years, and I have been married for 14 years, and I can tell you right now, that's not a fucking problem.
happened. It was like he was just flirty. I could see that. I could see how that was the point of view from
Not all relationships are the same. Flirting can be cheating. It would be considered
From them.
cheating. I would consider it cheating. Well, okay.
his hand was on my
Then this is a little, all right. Then I will say, then it's between them, you know, in the marriage. So in my case, we do not consider that cheating.
thigh, and it did kind of move north, and I did, push it up, but
We
I
also
was not
have
he was
like lines, you know,
drunk, and we were just
that have never been crossed.
talking. I did not think
I don't know, man. This is where like having trust in your partner and just being okay with this shit, like it seems like a foreign entity to people.
he would cross a line. My friend Ross comes over.
And in her head, if she's thinking, oh, he's drunk, he doesn't know it, she's gonna push him away, but not think anything of it, because
Tuesday was the 18th anniversary for you,
we
Pep?
give people we give, I don't want to say excuse, but we give people an out of, oh, he's drunk, he didn't know. But also, she shouldn't have to be in that position. She shouldn't have to be responsible because when he's drunk, he touches people. Do you know what I'm saying? This shouldn't have to be her responsibility.
No, I mean, if that's my point, though. If this was something known and he's touching, like the second that you do cross that line and you do this, like you do some shit like that, that's where, yeah, that's
And
that's
I understand that people feel like, and I, in spirit, when I agree with you.
That's also when, like, if you are in, like, if you're a little flirty, that's when you just go, oh, no. Like, I've had so many moments where I'll just flash the ring and be like, no, I'm sorry. And we're not like that.
That we should understand where people are coming from.
Has it created some confusion in some circles? Yes.
Understand that he was drunk. But also, if you are drunk and you get handsy, you shouldn't be drinking. This should
Did
not.
she let Pollyanna talk? Honestly, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just bring up the Pollyanna videos because she's got a little more commentary than I thought she was going to have on this. So now we at least have, like, the background of it. But, yeah, I'm going to bring up the TikTok because... Here we go.
to Jordan,
Okay.
and he fucking violated that. Yesterday, Jordan released this statement with regards to the accusations that have been made against him. I am here to say that I am essentially victim A. I'm the person who came forward first. In this statement, which is really not taking accountability,
This person you have up now is a little strange, not going to lie.
he said,
Well, the thing is, this isn't the first time that I've seen some content like this from her where she's been kind of off base.
and while my recollection of the accusations are limited, I believe and take responsibility for them. So now let me tell you my recollection because it's pretty fucking vivid. Friday, January 16th, we were all out in Chicago. We had all had some drinks. We convened at this bar at the end of the night, and at the back of the bar was Jordan and his friend sitting in a booth behind a table.
Where's she from?
I come back.
She just said bar.
Back there. Jordan's like, come on.
Is she from Chicago?
And they make room. And I remember getting a vibe. I could tell Jordan
I mean,
was super
that was
drunk.
either Wisconsin or Chicago right there.
Like my spidey senses, and I saw the space. I go, my ass isn't gonna fit there. Like I was trying to like be just like, I'm just gonna stand, but they were like, no, come on. So I against my better judgment sat down. It's important to note I had this big winter coat and it was in my lap. That will be important in a minute. So we're sitting there. Jordan and I get talking immediately about Minnesota. I think his hand was like this at one point, and we were talking, and it was like familiar. We've been friends for a long time. I thought I could trust him. I didn't think anything of it. I see, according to this, when he broke it down for somebody else, he asked his friend what had happened, and it was like he was just flirty. I could see that. I could see how that was the point of view from them. His hand was on my thigh, and it did kind of move north, and I did, push it up, but I was not.
Dude.
He was drunk, and we were just talking. I did not think he would cross
Wait, bro, like
the line.
I don't know, man. Like I grew up in a keep your hands to yourself unless you're invited type of situation.
My friend Ross comes over, he hands me a little toy car. Now, I'm such a nerd. I thought this little car was so cute. And I am sorry, I forgot it, Ross. I think you'll understand why in a minute. So I'm sitting there playing with it. My hands are occupied. I have a coat in my lap. And under my coat, I feel Jordan shove his hand in my pants. Now, I stopped it before it got to the desired location, I imagine. But I fawned. I didn't know what to do. I was like, Jordan, no, we're not doing that. And I just remember him being like, yeah, we're not doing that. I didn't know what to do because I was so fucking caught
certifiably
off guard.
Like,
but they wouldn't have seen it because I had this fucking coat here. Do you not think I wish I...
Honestly, no. This guy deserves... See, now this is the difference too. he pulls that shit in front of me, I'm sorry. I like that is where he's gonna catch a little bit of a physical reminder himself.
I made a goddamn scene. I wish I would have fought. I wish I would have said something. I wish I would have not had a coat in my lap so they would have seen what he did. Absolutely, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
and so
because I have a feeling that Jolly and everybody there that didn't know what the fuck happened, they would have stood up for her too.
I saw an opportunity to get up when people were going to karaoke.
Stop
I saw him go over
doing that.
and
Dude,
start kind of like
my cat is trying to antagonize my dog right
Dancing and
now, and it's literally like it's an episode of Garfield and Odie.
not paying attention. And I saw my friend Maggie, Mermaid Maggie. I love you. I said, "Do you want to get out of here?" And she said, "Yeah." So we bounced. And I'm glad I did, because as we were leaving to hit that Uber, I remember the sensation of like, I don't want him with us because I don't trust him. And I was like looking over my shoulder, hoping he wouldn't see us leaving. That says so much. I was processing what had happened in real fucking time, and I was scared of him seeing us leave.
Jesus.
That says so fucking much. So we left and we got to the hotel, and I was right, because you know what he did? He called me.
Oh, of course he did.
Called me and wanted my room number. And I said, "Jordan, I am not giving you my room number." And he repeatedly was asking me no less than fucking 10 times, saying things like, "Oh, I just want to come hang out. It'll be fine." And I'm like, "That we both know that's not true. Go to bed. You'll thank me in the morning. Go to bed." I said no.
This is so messed up.
At least
Yeah, if you see that fucking, yellow jacket and, the sunglasses and all that, just
10 times.
ignore it, delete
He
it.
disregarded consent at least 10 times.
No, and this is where, we have to stand up as a movement and just be like, no, dude, unless you make severe changes.
I finally said, "Jordan."
No. And I honestly, as much as I'm for, reform, this is different.
You're drunk. Go to bed.
I don't
Good
know,
night. And I hung
man.
up.
Like,
I woke up.
it's because it's even worse that he was one of these guys that was like, again, a leftist, one of these guys that was like, I would never.
In the morning to find that he had
Not all men
tried to call
like-
me, and he had said, "Oh, I can't get into my room." Bullshit. Go to the front desk. But like I was going to let him in mine.
off your wagon.
I wasn't feeling
Hey, Bandit.
100%. I never drink, so like any leaves me with like a migraine and ickiness. So my friend Matt USMC and Grady, who's like my brother and one of my best friends, stopped by with some Sprite and some popcorn, and I said something happened with Jordan last night, and I need to tell you. And I said we were at the bar. His hand was on my thigh. It escalated. I left. We got back, and then he called and would not accept no for an answer. I didn't let him in my room, but he tried over and over and over. And Matt didn't know what had exactly happened, but he knew that was a violation even in and of itself. I expected Jordan to talk to me Saturday. I thought he'd ask me what happened. I thought he would talk to me about what he did,
It's sad that I have to have a taser in my
but
bag.
he didn't. Didn't talk to me Sunday, didn't talk to me Monday, didn't talk to me Tuesday until I had had
Yeah.
enough of the silence, and I texted him and said, "Dude, this is what you did." And again, even in that, I said, it was a little flirty, and then it escalated and I bounced. I wasn't ready to admit what he had done, but I was stressing like you didn't accept consent when I said no about the room. So he calls me. And I replay the whole thing. And again, I say, we were at the bar. You had your hand on my thigh. It escalated and I left. Do you think he asked me what he did? No. Nope. Didn't ask me what the escalation was. Now imagine if that were me and somebody said to me, "You were drunk. It escalated. I left." Like whatever it was bad enough that person just fucking bounced. I would have been like, what did I do? He didn't ask. And I think that's when I finally had enough pretending that that's all it was. In fact, he was more worried about who I had told.
Jesus.
He said it wasn't my fault and that
Yeah, he knew that he knew he was cooked.
he accepted responsibility, but also he was drunk and didn't remember things. But also, hey, who did you tell? So I called Matt after. And I said, "Matt," I said, "did I tell you what the escalation was?" Because I just kept calling it an escalation for 4 days.
This is breaking my fucking heart.
Because I didn't want to admit what my friend had done. God damn it, I didn't want to cry on the internet. And he said,
Just got here. Who's she talking about? Off your wagon. Fucking totally crossed the line. Tried to stick his hands down her pants, and then didn't take no for an answer when he wanted to go to her hotel.
"No, I figured
Like, dude,
you'd tell me when you
no, he's cooked.
were ready." I said he
Honestly, I looked at his page. He still has over 50K fucking subs.
put his hand in my
Like,
pants and he got fucking mad. He's like, "Mandy, that is
I understand
sexual
what it
assault."
means.
And I
Like,
said,
as
"I
far
know."
as like, I don't know. No, that's not true. Well,
He said,
for a short period of time, we watched TYT kind of fluctuate.
I stopped it and I left and I did everything I could. I did everything.
Yeah, just seeing his channel go dead would be kind of nice.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Like, if this, I mean,
yeah, I know.
fuck. The fact that he didn't delete everything is
And I
insane.
said, should I call Jordan and tell him? Because he claims he doesn't remember. He's like, it's up to you. But yeah.
This is fucked.
And I called Jordan. I said, Jordan,
Like, he should have absolutely no fucking place in any of these circles.
you know, I said there was an escalation and I
Like, this makes me wonder, is he, like, thinking if he, well, maybe if I just make the right-wing pivot.
asked you and I asked you,
He's not a TYT guy. No, I shouldn't have brought TYT up.
you know, do you
Sorry.
remember what happened?
It was just literally an example of seeing, like, a controversy hit a channel and then watching them have, like, dwindling numbers. Same with Vosh.
You didn't ask.
But then all of a sudden, Vosh started growing, and now he hit over the 500,000.
Didn't
It's
ask me
so
what the
weird to
escalation
see
was.
that
Do you
happen.
remember? He's like, no. I said, you put your hand in my.
Funny enough, Candace Owens is the one that I saw recently. She was at over 6.25 million for a while there. She's at like 575 mil or like 5.75 mil, which again, great for her, great for any YouTuber. But yeah, that does kind of like bring to light. Oh yeah, she definitely had people fall off.
Jordan.
You know,
That's what you did. You didn't
like
really-
bro, you should never drink again after
much
something
to
like
say,
that.
Eddie.
I dealt with something very similar, like with this. I'm not going to go into details just for privacy of the parties involved. But I will just say I was at a party. I witnessed someone who I thought was a friend doing something with his partner's sister, who at the time, like, she looked so much like this sister and they're not twins, by the way, that I was just like, I didn't think anything of it. But then when I saw it again and I realized it, I flipped out. And I had some people in my life say, like, don't blow this up. Don't make a big deal about this.
Kept just saying, hey,
Because they were more interested in either keeping the party going or they wanted to deal with it later. But
I'm so sorry. I don't.
I respected my friend's girl at that time enough to just be like, no.
remember, but I
no.
take
And I talked to enough people at that party to just be like, we need to let her know.
responsibility.
And then I got ostracized. And I have literally, there's a few people from that friend group that they were way tighter with this guy, that they look at me and they think like I'm disgusting in some way or like that I suck because I somehow blew up their fucking spot. It's like, yeah, you guys are horrible people. Like, if you genuinely were not like thinking at that very moment that I need to tell her that he just totally cheated on her in front of all of us, like, it was also kind of a fucking like super egregious situation where it's just like, dude, the way he did it, like, they can't. At one point, they walked around like from doing the deed, and they had leaves on their back, and they're just like, what's going on? And it's just like,
I said, I don't know what to do with this.
damn, Peps, that's fucked. Yeah.
I have to go.
And as I said, the thing that I wrestle with the most is how people try to get me to keep quiet.
And I let him go. And as people in the Chicago group found out
They mad at you because you made them feel like shit because they didn't do something.
what had happened,
Well, maybe they need to check themselves. Maybe this fucking, oh God, I want to say his name so bad. I'm like, I almost squeezed this too hard where I could have broken it. This motherfucker sucks. I already didn't like him because he was one of those guys I always had a vibe about where I'm just like, this guy, there's something off about him. Just in general, like there's something like he walks around like his shit don't stink.
other people came forward. I will not speak on their behalf.
Leaves, yeah, they did this in like the back, like this was at a Halloween party. So again, like they went up this hill and like into this area that there was like a shed. Like again, they didn't do it in the shed. They were on the ground because yeah, they had leaves all over their back.
Their stories are never going to be mine to tell. But they came forward for me to corroborate my experience so that I knew I wasn't alone.
But yeah, like I said, that guy fucking sucks.
I was the one.
And I have ran into him in other like scenarios. Like we went to a concert and funny enough, he was with the girlfriend, like the girl that got cheated on. And he's looking at me with dirty looks. I'm just like, what? Are you mad at me because am I the reason that he's not here?
Who had someone, it was only me that I'm aware of that he tried to put his hand down their pants. I've seen some videos of people saying all 4 women. No, that happened.
And he used the same thing. He literally said it was because he was drunk and then he quit drinking. Now, this is where I'll say he quit drinking and they are getting married.
Happened to me. There were varying things that happened to other women that were deeply inappropriate.
Cheating is such a horrible thing. One of the things that really pisses me off, if you cheat while you have a family, I consider you a horrible partner and a horrible parent. No good. Cheating is disgusting.
Or crossed the line, but that.
Oh, if you do it with kids involved, yeah, you're fucked.
What he did to me.
And you're selfish. And if you this is the worst part about cheaters in that regard is how they will rewrite history, and they will always get people to fucking be behind them. It's weird. Like, they're so narcissistic, but they're like, it's the Trump shit. It's like they use the same tactics.
His friend.
I watched my friend's mom do that.
Which brings us to today.
And sure as shit, guess which parent my friend was talking shit about?
I saw this video from this woman who is super
not the mom
fucking self-righteous and trying to defend Jordan by saying, well, he's been in the trenches. It is giving grab him by the pussy. I'm rich and I can do this. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
She said,
the guy was in the trenches in Minneapolis. Have you been there?
And to that I say, yes, I have. I have been in the fucking trenches, ma'am. I have been fighting this, as has every woman that was involved. And it wouldn't matter if we were or we weren't. You don't get to give a pass for sexual assault to somebody just because
Russell Brand did the right-wing pivot when his accusations came out. That's why I think he hasn't deleted his account.
They're doing one thing good. I came forward because we as creators have incredible access to people, many who are vulnerable. They look up to us. They trust us. And I didn't want anyone else to experience this, because also at a lot of these things there's alcohol, and it's clear, Jordan, that you have a problem. And I hope you get help. I really fucking do. Because I have been absolutely destroyed by this. She also asked this.
Jolly Ginger, where are you guys at? I want to get some support for this man.
And I hope it's okay that I answer, but Jolly was on the phone checking on me.
Okay.
The amount of people who have checked on me.
I haven't seen that part. Okay.
Because Jolly understood that what happened to me was never okay. And it wasn't my fault. So you want to know where Jolly is? Why he's not on here defending someone? It's because he was checking on me.
Can't remember, but there was someone who did an unwanted groin grab on Terry Crews when he was embarrassed, but he knew his civic duty to out the overprivileged guy. Oh, right. That's why Terry Crews got blacklisted. Yeah, that's right.
I never
That was during like the Weinstein stuff.
I'm getting nothing from this. I'm not even monetized on this account. So before you're all like, it's over a minute, she's making me, no, the fuck I'm not.
Yeah, it's really hard to get fucking monetized when you do political content, even if you have millions of views.
I never wanted this. This doesn't benefit me.
That's why I say, fuck TikTok.
And lying? I have no reason to lie. There's nothing I'm gaining. I have lost.
Hey, happy Friday. Hello.
So much.
What's up, Daniel?
Now, as far as my
Daniel's Sports Highlights.
friendship with
Do you actually like run a channel of sports highlights? Because I know that's really hard to do, because that's like one of the easiest ways to get a copyright strike is to just do a highlight channel and not have permissions.
Jordan, that's done. I've removed any videos of us, any content that we have made together, because honestly, it's really fucking traumatizing to see. I don't want those memories. I thought I knew Jordan. I didn't do this to hurt him. I didn't do this to cancel him. I did this because women could be harmed based on the patterns of behaviors we saw. And I did that.
Well, no, and it's also about living our morals. Like, if this was happening in right-wing circles, we would expect the same thing, so no.
I knew what he did to me.
Come on.
I don't want there to be someone else who gives him their room number. Jordan needs help. And based on his statement, he says he's going to get it. I'm not pressing charges at this time. I'm not ruling out anything. And if he gets help, great. And if he doesn't, there are things on the table. So I really hope he does.
All right. So now, because we went back, I will go to the point. I'm not going to watch all of this. Okay, so here we go.
I'm just harping on the boy bubble and I keep talking about boys in the bubble. It's because of these situations. Okay, so here's another lady. This is Stella. Okay, just pause with me and go to Stella for a second. Okay.
I hope I don't offend any of my fellow.
She is not one of the victims as far as I know. She's just a person in this space.
I really hope I don't offend any of my fellow political content creators with what I'm about to say. But I made a very conscious decision a long time ago not to hang out with or get together with people on here. And maybe it's the cynical New Yorker in me. I don't I barely trust people I know in real life, let alone on the internet. And the news about Off Jowagon just solidified that decision for me.
Hey, good for her.
I mean, he had reached out to me a couple of times to do something together, and I was always like, yeah, sure, someday. But that's crazy, bro. For real.
Yeah.
And am I going to say I'm surprised? No. A golden retriever is still a dog at the end of the day that can turn around and bite you. So the only thing...
Look, I don't know her content. I don't know any of these people, but you don't have to know that this is a pattern. I don't know.
But I was stressing like you didn't accept consent when I said no about the room.
Exactly.
So he calls me. And I replay the
exactly, or him calling, him demanding for the room.
Wait.
Don't have your guard down.
Either, girl. He just went down in my memory as definitely someone not to pay attention to. Okay, let's go to people's reactions. This is Stella.
Thing I have to say is for my fellow female content creators out there who do go to these get-togethers or do collaborate with other influencers on here, just be careful. Don't have your guard down. I mean, these girls probably saw him out and were like, oh, we're safe. He stands up for women's rights. And then the next thing you know, his fucking hands are down their pants.
Exactly.
Just be careful.
It's an easy dunk for these liberals / truly not informed on consent men to just say one good thing about women. And because again, I'm not in these bubbles. Okay. So I just started following Jamel. So, okay, this is Jamel. I just started following him. This is his presence on the internet. Okay. 290,000 followers. He's got all these great TikToks. Da, 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 da. So then I come across, this is him. This is Jordan. This is the guy that's being accused. But I noticed he was doing a stitch battle with Jamel. And I was like, what is this? So this came first. Okay. So let's see. Watch. I'll just show you a little bit of it.
Misleading. So once again, I will reiterate that my accusation stands.
So this guy is still accusing me of being misleading. And I watched his entire response to me. And I figured out what was happening. Now, the video...
Okay, hold on. Watch.
Me. Came into a video I did, and this gentleman... Me. Came into a video I did about institutional investors and residential home buying and accused me, basically, of lying to my audience.
So I did a video recently on the residential housing market, and somebody in the comments told me that this particular creator had debunked the
Now, this is 2023. Just keep that in mind.
idea that investors are driving up housing costs. Tagged me in one of these videos of him just talking. No citations, no statistics, no sources. In my ever so humble opinion, no legitimacy. Then the commenter tagged me in another video where he did...
Okay, they're going back and forth, right?
What he commented on and has gone through are videos that are responding to very narrow questions.
I'm starting to wonder what the fuck this has to do with the broader implications with, you know, him putting his hands down Pollyanna's pants.
Are very narrow comments. A narrow comment.
At Bandit and
Thank you for the
$5. This the same Pestany theory. They stand up for women's rights so think they are owed or something like that. Shickos.
They stand for women's rights, so they think they are owed something like that. Sickos, yes. Sorry, I thought it just ended.
Isn't the big problem institutional investors, right?
So then what we have here is, first of all, victims, which we are devastated for.
Yes, yeah, that's the guy. Like, we watched some of his videos. I remember I was like, ooh, I'm gonna follow this guy. I kind of like, yeah, I've become a fan.
And we have an extra layer of the politics.
It is literally the quickest I've ever subbed and unsubbed from somebody.
Of it. Then we have the added layer of the ethics and morals. So the morals, personal, what do we personally do as content creators? The ethics of how to this.
God, so I think it's the fact that, like, she just looks, yeah, somebody said she dresses like a child. Yeah, she literally, yeah. All right, we're done with that. We got the crux of it.
But he will never be my friend.
Here are 5 parts that you can...
I trusted Jordan.
Okay, are we not gonna... That's it? That's all? Oh, okay. I thought there was an update because it said 1 of 4. I guess it's not. Or no, it says 1 of 22. Number 1. Wait, I never wanted to make this video, but Off the Wagon, aka Jordan, left me no choice. Understanding that Off the Wagon controversy with Jordan, explore the truth behind Off the Wagon's actions. This was definitely AI. Okay, so this is, yeah, I was about to say, this is the AI generated summary. I was like, wait a minute, that's AI and a half. All right. Here we go.
Florida ranks third nationally in calls for help for human trafficking, where young women and children are enslaved and abused. We're taking on medical.
I love that everybody is dunking on her.
Paid fraud, pill mills,
nobody likes her.
Gangs and more, and I'll fight to put human trafficking.
The only people that like her are MAGA chuds that think that they can fuck her.
Monsters where they belong, behind bars.
Because like yesterday I was seeing a bunch of like these guys that like they had nothing of substance to say about how good she is at her job or any of these things. Just said she's hot.
Bundy,
but she's not.
Our Attorney General. Well, that aged like hot sour fucking milk, didn't it?
Well, that aged like fucking sour milk. He even added hot sour milk.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I'm sure by now you've all seen old Scam Bondi's absolutely magnificent crash out in that congressional hearing as she absolutely and brutally embarrassed herself, MAGA, and the Trump administration as she lost her mind emotionally, ranting, raving, screaming at pretty much all the senators for the majority of that hearing, making arguments like pedophilia is okay as long as the Dow Jones is high, and
fuck them kids. The Dow is 50K.
Attacking a Jewish congresswoman whose grandpa died in the Holocaust for being anti-Semitic. Wow. But one of the things that hasn't got as much attention, I think needs to, is one of the parts of that hearing really showcased how the Department of Justice and the FBI have not only been trying to protect pedophiles, but have been actively trying to intimidate, silence, and attack the victims, and have been doing so for years. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video today. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Let's jump into this thing. Let's talk about it. Okay, so one of the biggest, most important parts of this hearing,
I'm going to say it just
was a back and forth between Thomas Massie and Pam Bondi, where Thomas Massie showed that the Department of Justice released dozens of the victims' names, which was illegal for them to.
Bondi acted just like Trump. Are we sure it wasn't Trump wearing a long blonde wig?
But it was also done on.
My favorite one that I saw was the fact that apparently Caroline Levitt and her are the same person, and they interchange their personality for whatever Trump's needs are.
Purpose. And very, very bizarre to think about the fact that the Department of Justice has redacted all of the pedophiles' names, but has released the names of the victims. Now, why would they?
Yo, gonna hang at DJ X stream for a bit? Cool. Just so you know, I might not be here when you get back, and I'll probably be on this space.
We'll talk about that here in a second.
Gonna be heading there around 8 o'clock.
Well, let's watch this clip first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Behind me, I have 3 documents from the DOJ production that are emblematic of the massive failure of the DOJ to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. To my right is an email that was sent by the victims' lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact, a list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the
Pep, did you see Massey Twitter account? No, I didn't. Is it worth it?
Lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name.
Like, what happened? What am I looking for so I can just type it in and kind of get right to the crux of it? I don't want to search through all of Massey's tweets.
The next document I want to show you, that was in the title, the victims' survivors' names, all right? The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking, Co-Conspirators, fully redacted.
Now, did the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi just accidentally make a little whoopsies? Didn't mean to do that. Sorry that we released all the victims' names, even though we redacted the lawyer.
What? Sorry about your Sultan, bro? Wait, what? This is real? Thomas Massie replying to Stephen Chung. Sorry about your Sultan, bro. Dubai CEO named in Epstein files resigns from DP World. What the fuck? And then he said, sorry about your Sultan, bro. Okay.
His name in one of the victims, so you very clearly
was that what you meant?
Did it on purpose. Now, why?
Oh, he's ensuring us that he's not going to unalive himself.
Might they have done it on purpose? Well,
where? I joined Caitlin Collins this week to provide. Blah, 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 blah. If you're viewing Epstein files, you can don't forget who. For those of you that really tried and trying to keep notes in them, can you and people vote? Where is this one? Inevitably, people aren't. I have a good reason. Just send me the tweet if you can in Discord, because yeah. As I said,
the only reason
that's kind of what I was trying to avoid. I didn't really want to like go searching through his Twitter.
You can really think of is for sheer intimidation purposes. They are trying to punish these victims for having the gall to come forward and expose this entire thing. And the FBI and the Department of Justice that's been trying to silence and shut the...
Hey, you stream really well. I love to become your dedicated fan and support you. Add me on
these
Discord.
Women up for years.
I appreciate it. You can watch here. Follow me here and there.
Is pissed off about it, and they want to put them in
jamming,
compromising, and potentially deadly.
Thank you for the sub.
Situations. That's the entire purpose of this. Absolutely disgusting. And you may be wondering, that seems bizarre because, I don't know, the people in charge said that they were going to protect the victims. Let's take a look.
Florida ranks third nationally in calls for help for human trafficking, where young women and children are enslaved and abused. I knew we needed all hands on deck. Businesses and hospitals to spot it, our great law enforcement to stop it, and tougher penalties to punish it. We're taking on Medicaid fraud, pill mills, gangs, and more. And I'll fight to put human trafficking monsters where they belong, behind bars.
Pam Bondi, our Attorney General.
Well, that aged like hot, sour fucking milk, didn't it? But she wasn't the only one that promised to protect victims and stop human trafficking. But who else promised to protect the victims? I don't know. Let's take a little trip down memory lane on Joe Rogan's podcast. Oh, that's right. Old cross-eyed crash out Patel. What did he say about the Epstein victims a year ago?
We're not going to re-victimize.
Rand Paul's a total tool, though. He likes to pretend he's making a stand before backing down. Yep.
Women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening because then he wins. Not doing it.
Oh, you hear that? They're not going to re-victimize these women. They're not going to put their identities out there because if they do that, Jeffrey Epstein wins. Well, and now we've found out that, well, that's what the Department of Justice and the FBI have wanted this entire time. They want Jeffrey Epstein and all his co-conspirators and, I don't know, people like Donald Trump who are covering this whole thing up. Yeah, they want them to win. Now, the reason why this gets really sketchy and really scary is there's already been Epstein survivors who have offed themselves. Now, the majority of people following the Epstein files obviously already know who Virginia Giuffre is, but she is one of the victims who really blew this whole thing wide open with her memoirs that talked about the absolute disgusting shit that people like Prince Andrew and Ehud Barak were doing when they were raping her as she was being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. And yes, she, unfortunately, died by S in April 2025. Her memoir, Nobody's Girl, was published posthumously in October 25. Now, the reason what makes this so interesting is even right here in the Wikipedia description, it talks about what the FBI did to her. The FBI has challenged several of Giuffre's allegations, including her claim that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking girls to powerful men, which was not attested by other victims. Now, who else told us that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't trafficking anyone to anyone? Because, as it shows there, years ago, the FBI has been challenging and trying to silence Giuffre. Oh, that's right. It was cash.
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to, besides himself?
Himself.
Whatever happened with that Guthrie lady, she died by S.
Credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday.
Now, we obviously know now that Kash Patel viciously lied under oath when he made those statements. Massive case of perjury. He should obviously be fired. That's a baseline. And then he should be investigated and most likely face legal punishment for breaking the law. But what this really shows is that the victims have been bullied, harassed, and attempted to be silenced by the Department of Justice and the FBI this entire time.
Oh, Guthrie. You're talking about Savannah Guthrie? Who knows?
And that was confirmed by the victims in the hearing. So a question was asked to the victims at the hearing.
Honestly, like, I feel bad for her family and everything, but realistically, there's a part of this that I'm just kind of also, you know, her mom had a nice long life.
And if they had,
I don't know, guys,
not been contacted by the DOJ for any reason regarding their experience of being trafficked by Epstein. And as you can see here, they all raised their hands. Now, that seems a little bizarre, huh? If you were doing an investigation into a giant child sex trafficking ring,
I know that's definitely like the most careless way to say that. But
I don't know, contact.
I don't know. What am I going to do? Go find her?
Talk to the victims?
The fact that you have live streams that are just sitting out there with their cameras pointed at the fucking front door. Actually, here, I think that's live right now. As I'm bringing that up as a joke, I swear to God.
Protection. $1,000 reward, he says, but he.
Keep listening.
It's bounty hunters. Yeah, check it out. This is what they're doing. They got streamers out here acting like they're bounty hunters that are going to go and solve this case.
The ones who are being trafficked, but no, the Department of Justice.
Which, honestly, with the way that the FBI is handling this, I could see it happening.
Just had no interest in that. They didn't have any reason they needed to talk to the victims. Why would they? Their entire purpose and goal is to protect the pedophiles, not the victims, of course. And so you got to ask yourself, what the hell has the Department of Justice and the FBI been doing with this investigation? Well, it's become very, very clear it wasn't actually investigating anything. It was using 10 months and all the resources possible to redact all of the information about Donald Trump and pedophiles. That's it. That was the entire purpose of this investigation by the Department of Justice. And what do the victims think?
A lot of the survivors cried. You know, we stood there and we almost felt like embarrassed that we even stood up and she couldn't turn around and apologize to us. And I think right now, I think the whole room is pretty much laughing at her. She has become a circus act.
Yes, Pam Bondi is obviously a massive embarrassment and a circus act. I don't really, are we even pretending that we have an actual attorney general anymore? It's rough. And here's what the victims had to say about.
I'm glad that there's some sensible people that came from the right that are waking up to this shit. I said this yesterday when we watched some of his content.
About their names all being released
God, I remember when we watched his first video about the ballistics thing with Charlie Kirk.
Redacted in the files.
I think we all realize now, oh, you guys really wanted to silence us. And you thought that you could scare us by putting our names out there.
And it had a list of victims.
It
And
was shown,
I think, a couple of times.
Yeah.
One was redacted. That makes no sense. This is a list of victims. That's intentional.
Yes, it was obviously intentional. We see that. And the entire purpose was to intimidate these people. And the reason why this is a really, really big deal is we're talking about, I don't know, some of the most powerful people in the world who we know were raping and murdering young children. You don't think that they might not have the incentive to really shut these women up now that they have the list of their names? This is a lot bigger deal than I think people realize, especially giving the backstory of what's happened to some of these victims. And this is ultimately how the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi feels about the victims. You know, asking for a simple apology to the victims for doxing them.
And they wonder why SA victims don't come out? Yeah. I mean, to be real, I've seen a lot of accounts that are just normie accounts posting this exact same video going, I can't stand up for this. My stepmom, I brought this up. My stepmom, hardcore MAGA, hates Pam Bondi and thinks that she's a disgrace to this country because of this.
So Pam Bondi laughs and says, I'm a professional. That's why she won't apologize for her department.
She's Bad Bunny, her bad baby.
Doc.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Seeing these victims and putting them in serious danger.
Well, my favorite part about that clip, I'm sorry, you want me to catch you where? Like he wanted to keep going, like, what are you, some kind of squirrely little squirrel or something? Are you going to be jumping all over the room?
Stuff. But don't worry, she spent all the resources she could to make sure the actual files
How about that?
were protected and their names were redacted. Now, at this
and now she's a millionaire.
point, some of the most pathetic shit you're going to see is
what you do with your life.
Of course, coming from male MAGA talking heads. And think about this, guys. There is nothing more pathetic to me than the type of man.
Trump should have gotten rid of her a long time ago. The fact that he is just standing behind all these people, like, he is showing his ass where it's like he needs sycophants more. And like, I hate to say it, it's kind of like him needing them more than they need him at this point, which that's never a good dynamic for power. I mean,
go out of his way to do mental gymnastics over the top to defend and protect files instead of wanting justice for the victims. So, you know, people like Matt Walsh and Benny Johnson and Officer Tatum who are doing everything they can to attack.
That's Matt Walsh without a beard.
Attack the victims and defend the files. What you guys should probably do is reach down into your pants, grab your little baby nut sacks, see if you got any nuts left, and maybe do the right thing. And if you can't find your nuts, I'm sure Benny will help you. But for the rest of us, as you can see, we aren't putting up with this shit. And we actually do want justice for these young women who were trafficked and raped by a bunch of billionaire pedos. Now, what's going to happen next? Well, the survivors have now announced that if the Department of Justice does not unredact the perpetrators...
Thanks for the 5, man.
At Bandit see $5. I saw a meme during COVID dust government. Stay inside MAGA, catch me outside. How about that?
The pedophiles' names, they are going to start naming names. Now, I'll tell you this is absolutely unacceptable. The burden of exposing these disgusting people should not fall on the victims of assault and rape, especially when they were young girls, teenage girls, when this happened to them. The burden of that falls on the justice system in America. This is the United...
Replying to Hassan, not Hassan Abi or Hassan the Hun, but Thomas Massey, I am not ascidal. I eat healthy food. The brakes on my car and truck are in good shape. I practice good trigger discipline and never point a gun at anyone, including myself. There are no deep pools of water in on my farm, and I'm a pretty good swimmer. Wow.
States.
And yeah, that's a real tweet.
Of America. And
that was sent 5 hours ago.
Our justice system is not only not getting these women justice, it's
I'll bring that up
actively
here in a
doing
minute.
everything in its
Actually,
power
you know what? Fuck
to
it. Sorry, like, I finally found it. Yeah, guys. All right, so as you can see here, I'm not ascidal. I eat healthy food, blah, 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 blah. Thomas Massey is not ascidal and must protect him at all costs. Warns us he's not. U.S. politics is hard to follow, especially since it's been revealed a swath of it is under the control of child trafficking demon elites. Thomas Massey stands out alone in this country and has been instrumental in bringing the Epstein files to the world. Here he is telling everyone he is not ascidal. He wanted that for the record. Thomas Massey reassures the public that he's not ascidal. This just in. Food. Blah, 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 blah. I learned so much on X. Wow. Okay. You were right, Etch. You were right on.
The people that abuse them. And that is something that we're not going to
Roe?
accept, even if MAGA...
Did he mention, like, did Roe put out a... God damn it.
Wants it desperately. And
a
so
thing.
thankfully, outside of a small group of MAGA that there are left, the vast majority of Americans have put their foot down and said, we want accountability, and it's not going to stop. It's going to get uglier and uglier. The victims are going to start putting out names. Congressmen like Thomas Massey are going to continue to go in and see the unredacted files and continue to put out names. And I can promise you this is the death of the Trump administration. There will be no recovering from this.
Oh, that was music to my ears. Guys, we watch a lot of shit on this channel, and we go through a lot of bullshit. God damn it, that felt good to hear from a fucking right-winger.
Everyone attached
God damn
to
it.
Donald Trump and the Trump
You know, if that came from anybody on the left, yeah, it's just words.
is
But
politically
that right there.
dead. You will see that in 2026, and you will see that in 2028 when J.D. Vance has no shot at the presidency because he's tied to the Epstein case. They're all tied to the Epstein case. When we look back 50 years in history, synonymous with
DJX ended
Donald
stream.
Trump's name,
sorry,
his picture will have Jeffrey Epstein right next to it. So for MAGA, you might want to wake up quick because you're going to go down with the ship too.
Yup. Okay, so this is interesting. A little bit of a pivot away from just like politics for a second. We will be getting back into it because let me finish this one. Oh yeah, the Asmund Gold drama too. Fuck. You know what? I might have to. I gotta pick and choose here because what do we got? Hunter Hess, Team USA. Because Luke Beasley was on Piers Morgan, but I'm not even sure if it's really that interesting. Yeah, it's about transgender athletes. I don't give a shit about that. Fucking so over it. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm happy not to platform that one because I am just over that shit. Ooh.
Man, I'm just being honest, bro. I'm not attracted to my wife after us having kids. Like, she used to be in shape before we started having kids, but now it's like she doesn't even care. She doesn't want to go to the gym. She doesn't want to eat right. She's lazy. Like, I'm over here working out.
You know what? I know a guy like this.
And she talks.
He cheated on his wife, who was the breadwinner. Now he's living in an extended stay.
I'm too tired.
Very, very much the same person.
I don't have time. Bro, you make time if you really care about yourself. Hell, you'll make time if you really care about me. All right, fellas, let's talk about it, man. Your wife's physique changed after you started having kids. I feel like I can end the video right there because, duh. Like, the obvious thing is her hormones are all over the place while she's pregnant, so there's that. Also, her body naturally stores extra fat, especially around the hips, the thighs, and the belly, to have energy reserves for breastfeeding. And after the baby's here, there's sleep deprivation, there's no time for the gym, there's extra stress. It's not easy.
You just literally fucking named all the reasons that they cannot.
Oh, I know y'all are like, bro, all those things are just excuses. I'm in the gym every day. Well, number one, that was probably already your lifestyle before having the baby. And number two, you didn't have to carry and create this
he's doing a character, thank God.
Baby for 9 months. So yeah, it ain't as simple as just go hit the gym. Her whole system got rewired. So before you start complaining, just know that her body literally went to war.
No, I just realized that he was doing a bit. No, it's a bit. It's a bit. And he did good. He got me. He got me.
So respect it. Support her. Be patient and help her get
this guy's actually based.
back in time when she's ready.
Good for him.
Here's some things that my soon-to-be ex-husband used to do that I didn't realize wasn't normal until after I left. When the Wi-Fi guy came to install our internet, he made me FaceTime him the entire time because he said that I might try and sleep with him. And then he still accused me of sleeping with him, saying that I could have slept with him before I called him or after I hung up the phone.
The fuck?
Didn't tell me happy
What the fuck?
birthday until right
Damn, I knew these guys were insecure as fuck.
before I fell asleep on my birthday 2 months after we got married. Gaslit and manipulated me into not having a job and said, I just want you to be a stay-at-home wife. And then when like money problems would come up or any kind of issue with me would come up, he would complain about how I didn't have a job and how I'm just mooching off of him. Only came home and ate dinner with me maybe twice a week because he was at his parents' or his brother's house. He did not get me
he was cheating on you.
a Christmas
He was totally cheating on you.
present, but instead he gave
And he was possessive of you, and that's why he did that. I'm surprised that she didn't see the... No, he wasn't with his brothers and his mom.
me his debit card and said, don't know what you want, you got $50, go
Girly pop.
get yourself
Like, I know that you were into the incel community because obviously you were married to one. But please don't fool yourself. You were being cheated on.
something nice. Complained and told me
I'm
that
sorry if I have to break this to you the hard way.
I was folding his clothes wrong
Maybe you should have actually fucked the cable guy.
when he never ever did laundry, wash clothes, nothing. He told me over a year after we'd been married and I was pregnant that he wanted multiple wives, and then he was upset that I was upset about it. Got pissed when my parents bought us groceries
As I said,
one time.
he thinks he's entitled to having multiple women.
Told me that he didn't
This tracks.
believe that
This tracks.
our son was his
Yeah.
son And when I said get a paternity test, he said,
Well, okay, so maybe incel's the bad, toxic man.
I don't even want to because
This is literally the perfect embodiment of a toxic man.
So close to my brother's DNA that you probably slept with that it would just say that it was mine and I would still never know. When the electricity went out on 2 of our rooms, including a bathroom, and our wash machine was broken, and I tried to get him to fix it for about 9 months, he told me that I should have been more grateful.
9 months. Yo, that kind of like, dude, my washer goes out. I'm fixing that within a week.
And that it was a test to me because people back
Gotta
in the
love
olden
Gen Z.
days
Yeah.
didn't have that kind of
I
stuff.
kinda,
So
I'd feel bad, but I'm just kind of like,
grateful
meh.
that I had it in the first place, even if it was broken. Okay, that's all for now. Bye.
A lot of MAGA husbands do not love their wives. Instead, they see their wives as live-in maids and somebody who could pop out kids for them.
Yeah!
So they can continue on.
That's the whole point of the trad wife
white
movement.
genes. They don't actually
Man, I'm kind of glad that today's theme has been kind of debunking the whole, like, oh, hey, this is the great parts about trad wives.
necessarily care about the women that are building their
And these MAGA men, they're great men of honor
homes that they live with. And the reason I know that is because I have gotten so many DMs from MAGA men that I can't even list them all here. And they have all said that they find feminist women so attractive and that they would love to have a wife that doesn't depend on them, even though they put themselves into that position on purpose by wanting to be a provider type. So
Yeah,
here
that's why they're all obsessed with AOC.
are some of the messages just to prove to you this point, and also to show that a man doesn't have to like you to marry you. You just have to make his life better and more convenient. And the sooner more Republican white women realize this, the better our society will be. Because white women have historically and consistently voted against our own interests. And even if care for human rights isn't enough to move you, the fact that your husband probably doesn't love you and is messaging random leftist girls on the internet asking to see her coochie, hopefully that will be enough. Okay, bye.
This is... Yeah, but was that enough for you to change your mind on your politics? Because I don't know. It's almost like it's kind of a structural issue.
A real post by a Trump supporter. This is what winning at life looks like. MAGA is trying to sell Pete Hegseth as a family man. But the woman in the photo is actually Hegseth's third wife. He had an affair with her and impregnated her while he is married to his second wife right here, whom he had an affair with while married to his first wife right here. She was only one of 5 women he cheated on with while married to his first wife. MAGA family values for you.
Women are being charged with murder for miscarrying a pregnancy. Amari Marsh was a junior at South Carolina State University when she miscarried. When she woke up in the hospital, the police were standing over her, questioning her about what she had done to cause that miscarriage. And then a few months later, they arrested her without bail, as if she's a danger to society. And they held her for 22 days. And when they finally released her, she had to wear an ankle bracelet. She was facing 20 years to life in prison for a miscarriage. Thankfully, a grand jury cleared her of the charges. But is this the world that we're living in, where women are now being investigated for not being able to carry a baby to term? This should alarm everybody. So please, vote Harris Walls, blue up and down the ballot, make phone calls, volunteer to canvass. We must elect Democrats everywhere.
I'm a far leftist who is fully taking advantage of the fact that MAGA men have a fetish for being absolutely dominated and humiliated. And so I've learned over the last few
Ace, I like her.
that I can use that to my advantage, to get my nails done, to get my toenails done. I just messaged one of these MAGA pay pigs earlier this morning and said, I want this hat from Planned Parenthood, and they immediately sent me the $25.
Damn, dude! Ladies, take notes! Fuck it, hey!
This is an endless money hole, an endless honeypot.
Go for it. Make that money.
I was surprised and also not surprised at the same time at how many of these Trump supporting men, MAGA supporting men, that will actively seek out a dom, which is someone who can financially dominate.
So she's a manipulator? Nope.
Humiliate them. And so
No, she's playing into fetishes that are already there.
best believe I take advantage of that
Yeah, no.
shit because
No, get it, girl.
MAGA money
The fact that you said it like that, you're a chauvinist.
spends just as
We get it.
well as my own.
We get it. You want the other side. Like, you genuinely probably think that you deserve all women to be open to you
Money, and I'd much
because you're the prize.
rather
Yuck.
drain their bank accounts than my own. Anyways, I like my nails.
She's an interpreter. I think I recognize her.
Hi, I'm
so,
Kylie, and I think I just figured out why so many young boys are being radicalized. Just conducted a social
Pretty sure she has a OF.
experiment where I literally signed out of my YouTube profile, so there was zero trace of any of my previous history.
Not that that's a bad thing at all.
Went in a private browser and searched YouTube. I typed in feminism, and the first 4 videos that came up were anti-feminist, including a famous Red Pill podcast. It was the first or second search item that popped up. Even if young men go in innocently trying to learn about feminism, they are immediately exposed to anti-feminist, misogynistic content. I also looked up debate with women, and instead of something coming up related to politics, like with AOC or Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris even, Red Pill content came up immediately, like man dominates woman, Candace Owens versus 20 feminists.
Yeah, and this isn't just tagging. This is not like usually it's based on like who tags what at what time.
Anti-feminist content that is designed to demean,
That's an algo push. That's a blatant algo push.
dehumanize, and humiliate women. I am so concerned at this point as a teacher because of the amount of people I've had come in say shit in my classroom like your body, my choice, and a lot of other boys being incredibly misogynistic to their classmates and belittling women. At this point, I think we need to pass legislation about mandatory algorithmic changes because these boys are being taught to hate women without even meaning to.
Since Trump was re-elected, many women feel like their rights have been taken away from them. And it keeps going on. And some feel like divorcing their MAGA husbands who voted for Trump. Can you draw away years of friendship or marriage?
I gotta say, this guy put together a pretty good
because of different political opinions?
Little collaborative, or what's this called?
Friends in moral
collection, like a collection of videos.
Tell me your thoughts.
Why can't I think? I don't know.
Shut up, Joe. Leah and I have already talked about your search history. We all know that you love lesbians.
Whoa.
Because who else
Who's gonna make them feel as stupid as they are? Who? Being a menace is life-giving, okay? It fills my soul with an eye-rolling joy rivaled by only one thing, okay? As a straight white female, I am just privileged enough to be extremely problematic. I am becoming
She sounds like my wife.
a professional
Seriously, my wife talks a little bit like,
instigator. I
That's why she's a badass.
honestly didn't know that ruining their Marmalade Messiah fan fiction would be this fun. If they want to worship a little
love
fat
it.
man into pins, then I'm going to grab them by the wampus ween. And the more they squirm, the harder I'm going to squeeze. If they're not red in the face defending their 80-year-old Cheeto man, then I'm not working hard enough. I'm not here to make warm family memories. I'm here to make them feel as uncomfortable as they've been making others feel for the last 8 years. I'm not ruining the holidays. I'm just fact-checking their MAGA fantasies and calling out their wild hypocrisies. Every time they quote Fox News, I choose violence. I might as well feed my cold, dark heart with their discomfort and shock. Their cognitive
Like
dissonance is my love language. Their discomfort is foreplay, and I haven't finished yet.
Story time. So
Yes, this whole video is about women divorcing their MAGA husbands. Does that make you
a
uncomfortable?
lot of people have asked me, what did it take for me to break from MAGA and how did I get there? If you go to my profile, you can see my turning point, but in order for that to have worked on me, I had to be humbled in my own personal life. So here's how the timeline goes.
Jesus.
I don't remember a whole lot of politics being talked in my house.
Jesus. Is her name NyQuil? Like,
Certain ideas
what the fuck?
were just implied, for the most part. There were occasional times where I'd hear something like, illegals are taking the job,
Jesus, is this Ben Mycelis' daughter?
that sort of stuff being pushed into my mind.
This is Tina Marcellus, and I'm going to tell you a story about why I'm not MAGA anymore.
Anyway, back to the story. I was in
Xanax.
middle school
Really seems like it.
when Obama became president, and
Yeah.
then in high school when he became president again. Personally, I had no problem with black people or a black president. What I had an issue with and was taught to think is that the Democrats were the enemy. Not necessarily in those words, but the idea was implied. And we didn't want a Democrat president, and I also heard that he was only president because he was black, not because he was qualified. 2015 rolls around and I finished with high school and I entered into the adult world. Got a miscarriage. Being raised in a Christian household, I had always been told that abortion was wrong. I was 17 and then 18 and indoctrinated. Fast forward into 2016 and I start to become more involved politically. The only difference was that at the time I trusted the people around me, like I've said in other videos. So I only looked into the sources that they provided, and everything else I just had this idea pushed into my head that it was all fake news. So in that 2016 year, when I would debate with people, I was just repeating the same talking points that I was hearing all the time. And anything that was provided for me or
Oh
to
my God,
me,
her video's like the
didn't
longest
believe
one.
it because I was told not to
What the
believe it. That's how
fuck? That's too
indoctrination
much.
works.
Yeah, got it. Nah, you're welcome, I guess.
Sharing that Nick Fuentes video about him bragging about saying, "My body, my choice," and then adding you crying to the video. As an ex-stripper, I am going to tell you about the demographic, specifically the MAGA men, okay, and how they really are and how they really think so that you can quit being a victim. There is a reason why.
Oh shit, I just realized what time it is. All right, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna wrap this up in a minute here. However, I'm not gonna be able to do the 420. So what I'm going to do is we're gonna do that now. So I can go into the game being a little bit, lifted. I'm probably not going to be the greatest at the game because of it, because it is kind of a knowledge-based thing.
Held in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Even
let's
outside
celebrate.
of working at the strip club, I worked in roofing sales. I was the only woman and the only black. I worked with nothing but white, conservative men. I purposely drank with them and had one beer while they got plastered, and they revealed all their little gay-loving secrets to me. Them having songs for one another. One of them literally told me how they went to a gay bar in Colorado,
because I'm also
and he loved
not
the
great
fact
at
that someone
timing
was
this.
paying for his drinks. The man was paying for his drinks, and that
Whatever.
if it came
We'll just
down
go with
to it, he would be willing to let
420
another man
420 somewhere.
stick his thing in there so that way he could have that man spend money on him. Ladies, everything that these men are telling you is a projection. Stop being a fucking victim. Stop wasting your tears on these men. If you ask any dominatrix, any dominatrix, their clients that want to be subbed the most are these MAGA conservative men, okay? It's a projection. This is also why they are so holier than thou, because it's a projection. It's a projection to cover up what they really want. They want to be dominated over, okay? They want to be dominated over. And so in order for them to hide that, they have to say things like, your body, my choice. The men who are typically the loudest when it comes to this type of stuff are always going to be the men that are hiding something, it's something and it's a way that they're living their life and they don't want you to know. So what do? They want to make you scared and make you be fearful. Stop being scared and
I don't know, this tuber's cool.
Stop being fearful. They want you to be a victim. They want you to be scared. They want you to be crying. Stop giving them what they want. Stop giving them.
Oh my God, why are these so long? Dude, he found like the 10-minute ones. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, we get that, man. Holy crap.
What's up, y'all? Hope everybody out there is having an awesome day. I have a whole bunch of breaking news here to get to for you. So let's start with this. We have
Jesus. Okay, never mind. I misread that. I thought this was a 5-minute video, not a 50-minute video.
They do. They want to make you.
You know what? Screw it. We're just gonna chill here for the little bit here. Oh wow. Just in time for, you know, somebody that is a little bit of a racist to come in. Cool. Fun times. Fun. 6-7 minutes? Huh? I mean, technically. You know what? Fuck it. This Philly D one's 3. Perfect.
YouTube's lawyers just stood up in court and said with a straight face, we're not social media. And whether you buy that or not, this trial could completely reshape the internet as we know it and cost tech giants billions of dollars. Because we're watching the kickoff of a massive landmark trial centered around a now 20-year-old woman identified by her initials KGM, who's accusing Meta and YouTube of building addictive platforms that hooked her at a very young age and destroyed her mental health. Now, it's also worth noting that this suit originally included Snap and TikTok as well, but they actually managed to avoid trial by reaching settlements.
I take joy that we ruined the 6-7 memes for kids. Yeah, because they ain't doing it no more.
Terms. So now
they look at you like you're cringe.
YouTube in the hot seat. Now, as far as the specifics of the lawsuit, it alleges that Meta and YouTube made calculated design choices, infinite scroll, autoplay, algorithmic recommendations, specifically to make these apps more addictive to kids and boost their own profits. And during the trial, KGM's lawyers did not pull punches, calling Meta and YouTube digital casinos intentionally designed to get children and teens addicted. Where they claim that the platforms have engineered addiction in children's brains and argued that tech executives knew the risks and said they didn't just build apps, they built traps. They didn't want users, they wanted addicts. It's a pretty damning language, but here's what makes it interesting.
This guy needs a shark tooth necklace. I'm pretty sure he used to wear one. I swear to God, I remember watching Philly D and he had a puka shell necklace at one point. I was like, is that a fucking puka shell necklace?
Police are claiming that KGM's mental health issues were caused by her difficult
Hassan had a puka shell necklace at one point.
Family life, not social media. And they're denying that their products intentionally harm.
Then he went to the pearls, which... bold move.
Children, pointing to safeguards that they've enacted in recent years and arguing that there is no scientific evidence proving that their apps cause addiction. They're also notably leaning on federal law, claiming that it shields them from liability for content posted on their platform. But also maybe the wildest part, YouTube's lawyers are trying to distance themselves from Meta by arguing that YouTube isn't even a form of social media. Where they're claiming that YouTube's actually an entertainment platform that more...
They are going over rules and have 6 players so far, Pep. Oh, shit. Wait, how many did we need? I told her I'd be there at the top of the hour. What the hell? Okay, so do they not need me? Okay. Well, oh, they need 8? All right, yeah, I'll be there. I told her at the top of the fucking hour. God damn.
Netflix.
Honestly, that's actually a little insulting to me. I'm not going to lie.
And Facebook. They say that it's different because people use it for streaming helpful videos, not endless scrolling. Right? And one lawyer pushed back on claims that YouTube's algorithm...
Like, okay, I'm sorry that I have my own...
by saying it's not trying to get in your brain and rewire it. It's just asking what you like to watch. So with that, you've had many pushing back, saying that YouTube has comments, community...
Pap recommend Hawkeye series? Yes, I do.
Subscriptions, notifications, an algorithm that absolutely keeps you watching, and a shorts feature that literally is designed to compete with TikTok. But also a big factor here is that this isn't just a one-off lawsuit. Right? This is just the first to go out to trial out of thousands of similar lawsuits alleging that social media platforms deliberately addicted adolescents and caused personal injury or other harms. And all 4 tech giants, Meta...
Man, all while they're trying to go after Section 230 again.
YouTube, Snap, and TikTok, they're named in various combinations across those other cases. And actually, they're all relying on a novel legal claim that these apps can be as addictive and as harmful as cigarettes. These cases are specifically drawing from the legal strategy used against big tobacco in the 1990s, where plaintiffs argued that cigarette makers knew how harmful their products were, but hid that information from the public. And that strategy there, it worked. Those cases totally upended the tobacco market. Cigarette companies reached a $206 billion master settlement and agreed to stop marketing to minors, which paved the way for strict tobacco regulations and a massive decline in smoking. And now, with KGM's suit being the first to go to trial, it's being seen as a massive test case that could determine how thousands of other similar cases play out. And so if this case swings in her favor, it could trigger a cascading effect similar to big tobacco, potentially putting tech firms on the hook for billions of dollars in damages and forcing them to completely redesign their platforms. I mean, we're talking about potentially revolutionizing or destroying, depending on your point of view, the entire industry. And all the while, there's a lot of debate happening out there.
It's almost like that was the point.
About whether social media is actually as harmful as tobacco. The science is still developing and the comparisons, they're not perfect. But what's not debatable example is that these platforms are designed to maximize engagement, and that engagement equals profit. But whether that crosses the line into deliberate harm, especially when it comes to children, that is exactly what this trial is trying to determine. And YouTube's claim, that it's not social media, it does feel more like a legal maneuver more than reality, where the platform's evolved way beyond just posting videos. The algorithm doesn't just ask what you like to watch. It learns your patterns. It serves you content based on what keeps you engaged the longest and uses psychological triggers to keep you coming back. But it seems like someone could easily argue that's not passive entertainment, that's active engagement optimization. But, with all that, this is the Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. That was actually a really important story. That's why I got a little pissed there. I was just like, what the, like, not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap up the show. It's time. I got to head off to this space. We'll see if I'm actually on, though, because honestly, if that's how it's going to be. I'm going to be honest. I don't exactly like when I devote a lot of stuff to something and then I'm met with something like that. So thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate that, Bandit. Really, really appreciate that. All right, guys, stick around because we're going to be rating this space, and I'm going to be ending the show. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the protest stream, but I have to go, and I will catch you then. Peace.
Who the heck is Pep Talks? I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Who the heck is Pep Talk? They want our women. They want our children. Pep Talk. Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the Pep Talk. Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist. Pep Talk. I'm literally coming. I'm literally coming.
Pep Talks. We found weapons of mass destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.